on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a record need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
All right, what's going on, Phoenix? Roc Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN Radio Phoenix. We're also on 98.7 HD2. We're on YouTube right now and on the Arizona Sports app. And as you just heard, the big voice guy, we are presented every day by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. Make one call, that's all, 602-977-1900. So a happy Friday, a happy Derby Eve, a happy Cinco de Mayo weekend. We've got a loaded 3 hours coming your way and a lot to get into as we're coming to you from Wright Toyota. So top of the list, quick check-in on the D-backs at Wrigley. And, folks, it's ugly. It is Cubs up 6-1, top of the fifth. Vargas, though, is now 3 for 3 at the plate. The streak is alive. The halfback continues, but it's basically been the Vargas show and nobody else. Arizona has 7 hits but just 1 run to show, and it's been horrible. As Zach Gallen got rocked, 6 earned runs on 7 hits in just 3 2/3 innings. He's been out of the game for a while. 3 runs in the first, 3 more in the fourth, and Arizona's only run came in, I believe, the fourth inning. Fourth inning. So not good there. Starter gets blows up once again. Bullpen's getting used early. We may see McCann in for another game, as we've seen him 2 of the last 3 games.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Imagine if he goes in 3 times in 4 games.
Right now, it's just interesting. This team has lost 6 out of the last 9, on the way to losing 7 out of the last 10. And going into this game, guys, they've given up 76 runs in the last 9 prior to today, okay? So now we're up to 82. And if I do my K-State math correctly here, Rock, that's about 8.4 games, 8.4 runs in the last 9 games, and that's going to continue this afternoon. And it just seems as though these starters, aside from Erod, cannot get out of the second or third inning without just giving a bunch of runs. I don't know if I've seen a streak where 4 out of the last 5 starters have given up so many runs so early, and we've seen relievers come in second, third, fourth inning this early. So there's something's definitely amiss with this starting rotation. On this, really the last 9 games, really this 10th game down there in Chicago with 2 more to play. So not looking good for this D-backs as far as the starting pitchings are concerned.
All right, coming up this hour, Barry Bloom from Forbes will join us here in segment 3. We're going to dig into the Diamondbacks' rotation problems, what's real, what's not real. Shohei Ohtani observed Cy Young pursuit, 0.60 ERA through 5 starts, and is a December lockout coming. He's been covering the sport for over 40 years, so he will join us. Beth Mickley will join us to preview the Big Ten Golf Classic, which is coming up May 16th. Scott Spreitzer from Doc Sports will join us to handicap the weekend NBA games, plus a Derby look. And speaking of the Derby, Corey LaRusso, who you may know on the airwaves, he now works at PIR. He'll join us live from Churchill Downs for the 152nd running of the Roses, which is tomorrow. You got a 20-horse field. Renegade is a 4-1 favorite, is stuck on the rail, so we'll dive into that. And then at 3:15, the Roc and Manuch Derby Draw, presented by Orangedale Lounge. You'll pick a number, and you'll get a horse, and you can win a prize if your horse wins places or shows. And then Rob Fredrickson will break down the Cardinals draft. We haven't talked to him since last week, so Jeremiah Love, of course, Garson Peck, will get his thoughts on that. The phone number is 602-230-0620. You'll need that a little bit later. We got a State 48 Roofing. It's your call question, which is up. Just search Roc and Manuch. You'll see that. But we are out here at Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price, Wright Toyota. We have a special guest who wants to come on the air right now. We have a buddy of ours, big issue guy, a Cardinal guy. He's always here at Wright Toyota. He kind of runs the place. And he's sitting there.
He does run the place.
In front of our set, and I wanted to give him a headset to come on the radio, and his eyes just blew up. But that's kind of funny.
He's on YouTube right now, too. I hope he's not part of the witness protection program. You know, you talk about the Derby, Kentucky Derby.
6-1.
You talk about this Derby, Rock, and it's kind of like if there's that race that I think America pays attention to, unless it's a horse that has a chance to win that Triple Crown on that final third race. It's just kind of that extravaganza from afar. It's fun to watch all the festivities and all the pomp and circumstance and the mint juleps and the people walking, the women in their hats, their guys in their suits. It's kind of it's more of the, not so much the race. It's like the event that leads up to it. And I remember growing up, we used to always turn that thing on early and just watch all the stuff. And then I can remember when Secretariat was running and watch that horse. And then from those late 60s to the early 70s, watching it in black and white. But it was always that one race that my dad definitely was wanting to watch, whether it was on ABC World of Sports or whatever it was, to really watch and indulge in it. So I've got a pretty good appreciation from it from an early on in reference to watching the pomp and circumstance, and then see if that horse that wins can go on and win the Triple Crown.
So again, that contest will be coming up at about 3:15. So I encourage you to get on. We'll take 20 callers. Real simple. You'll call in, you'll give us a number, and that number will equate to one of the horses, which is just randomly selected. But just get back to the D-backs to refresh here in this fifth inning. 6-1 Cubs. And, Vargas is the only bright spot. His hitting streak is now alive at 27 games, second longest right now. Gonzo's 30, so he's going to hopefully get to Gonzo, which could happen on Monday when Pittsburgh's in town. But he's got 3 hits and 1 RBI. The lone bright spot in this Arizona lineup, Carroll, Moreno, Thomas, Jose Fernandez, all over. And they're 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Zach Gallen's final line, not good. 3.2 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. His ERA today, 14.73. Today. So not good. So the Cubs jumped on him early. They got 3 in the first. And then D-backs scratched back, 1 back in the third. But then the Cubs put 3 more in the fourth, knocked Gallen out. And here he is. We got this bullpen, which have already thrown a ton of innings this week. So not good. They had 2 more against the Cubs here tomorrow and on Sunday.
And then the other side, the Cubs watching Colin Ray. He's thrown a pretty damn good game so far with this team.
He's given up a lot of hits. I mean, there have been hits.
Yeah, he's given up 7 hits, but they've held him. He's got 5 Ks. So got the base hit you just mentioned, runners in scoring position, with 1 out of 6. So he's given up a couple of hits, a few hits, but he's just striking the guys out. And again, I bemoan the fact that 3 2/3 innings for Zach Gallen, his second rough outing in a row. So you got Ryan Nelson, you got Merrill Kelly, you also got yesterday. Soroka really only had one. He's only had 1 bad outing. That was yesterday. We'll give him that. But today, Zach Gallen, so 3 out of the 5 starters struggling their last 2 starts. And by the way, the wind is howling, blowing into the batter, so it's tough to hit one out. But again, you got those woes early on is where the struggles have been, and that puts a team behind, puts your defense on their heels. Those are some of the things they can hopefully get straightened out. Maybe a comeback, but it'll be tough to come back with that wind blowing in versus blowing out.
Then on the national level, 3 elimination games in the NBA tonight. Pistons, Magic, Cavs, Raptors, Lakers, and Rockets. 3 game 6s, 3 series that could end. You got Sixers and Celtics tomorrow, game 7 at TD Garden following the Derby on NBC. What a lead-in. You got the Kentucky Derby going into game 7 of the Sixers and Celtics. Remember those days when it was Doc versus Bird? And
sure.
Those were the best. Yeah. They were absolutely the best. And Embiid will be back, so hopefully. But Tatum's hobbling a little bit. But, Boston's up 3-1 in that one. So here we are seeing some changes there, which is kind of cool. So already eliminated, of course, the Suns. And what happened last night with the Hawks, oh, my goodness.
Wow.
That was raw and just being down by, 50-something.
They were down by 61 points at one time.
How does that happen?
I think it was, it was like 83-35 at halftime or something like that. Also, you talked about the Timberwolves. They eliminate the Nuggets yesterday, and Ant-Man did play. Those guys ended up playing, and you looked at some of the guys that came back, and you go, okay, guys did a good job. He had guys that come out of the woodwork. Terrence Shannon, who? Yeah, he ended up starting. And, Randall had his usual 18 and McDaniel 32. You just wonder what happened to the Nuggets coming to this playoff. They were red hot, and then they come in. Joker looked, I don't know, to me, even though he played pretty well during this series, he just looked tired to me. Even though 28 points, he had the 10 rebounds. He's that proverbial triple-double, right? Always on. So you watch that, but that's the first one. The other one, too, was the Pistons. So watch them. They can come back. They were down 3-1. They won the other night. They're looking to win, tie it all up at 3 games apiece, and then go back to Detroit, win that. A number 1 versus a number 8. And this number 8 team, I being Orlando, I don't think it was truly a true number 8. That's where they ended up because they were unhealthy the last 2 or 3 weeks. They got healthy prior to the play-in. They win that. And they're basically taking the Pistons, the number 1 seed to the nth degree. So be very interesting to see if they could beat the Pistons.
All right, Vargas is at 27 straight games with a hit, the second longest in franchise history. We got the call. We'll play that next. Matt Ishbia breaks the silence on the Suns sweep. We'll hear from him, Devin Booker's future, as well as what changes are coming. So all that audio is next in our replay rewinds. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B from Right Toyota.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Nobody handed parents a manual for raising kids with smartphones. But we're learning something important. Heavy social media use can affect kids' sleep, confidence, and mental health. And simply banning it isn't realistic. What parents can do is learn how to guide kids towards a healthier balance. The Cars for Kids parenting blog offers practical advice for parents to help their children succeed in a digital world. Visit carsforkids.org/parenting because smart kids need informed parents.
You my little boo thing, so I'll give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know.
Now it's time for our replay rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Roc decides to add. Let's get to it in replay rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD2.
Hey, and 2 hours from now, 3:15, pick a number from 1 to 20, and you call us at 602-230-0620, not now, and you will get a horse for the Derby. Win, place your show, and you win. Thanks to our friends over at Orange Dale Lounge in Scottsdale. We got a big Derby prize package. It's some gift cards, $100, $50, $25. So good
Very
stuff.
nice.
And why not? You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, for $100, pick up the phone. I mean, why not? Give us a number. It's not that hard.
It's that simple, Rock.
It's that simple. So we'll do that in a couple hours. But let's get to our Learner Replay Rewind. And speaking of the most unlikely story in baseball, and Ildemaro Vargas is at it again today. He is 3 for 3. The 34-year-old non-roster invitee just extended his hitting streak to 27 games. That's the second longest in D-back history, franchise history. And here's the call from the top of the first.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, hard hit ball. That's into center field, a base hit. The Ildemaro magic continues here in Chicago, and he now possesses the second longest hitting streak in franchise history.
And it wasn't just a streak. He drove in a run today, too, in the top of the third. D-backs were trying to claw back, and they're down 6-1 after Gallen got rocked in the first. Here's Vargas getting Arizona on the board.
There it is. Swung on, ground ball, right side shot. Diving, can't reach it. That's into right field. It's an RBI base hit, and it's another multi-hit effort for Vargas.
And then he adds another one a little bit later, so maybe we'll bring that to you in our rewind.
You know, he's currently hitting 378, leading the major leagues hitting-wise. He's tied for 33rd. It was 6 home runs. Tied for 23rd with 20 RBI. And he's third. His OPS is 1.087. Folks, he's in the echelon of Major League Baseball hitters right now when you look at how the hot start that he has. This young man from Garapito, Venezuela, 34 years old, just kind of hung in there, persevered, endured, just kept working hard. And that's one of the attributes that Torey Lovullo loves about this guy the last couple of years with the D-backs is how hard he continues to work. He stays in the game. He works at his craft. He'll be over at second. He'll be over at first base. He'll take some plays out in the outfield. I mean, he's that quasi-essential utility player that's really going to be in that lineup, Rock. I actually feel until this streak is over.
Yeah, so when a streak is over, you're done?
No, I said when. They're going to keep him in the lineup, keep him going. I mean, you're not going to pull him out and he's at 33, 34, 35 for a rest. He doesn't want any rest days. Now, if he ends up, he gets to 33, 34, they might give him a blow for a game.
I just hope that they're not looking at analytics.
Oh, me too.
And they're like, we got to give him a day of load management. I mean, I can see them doing that.
No.
I mean,
that is
just drive me absolutely
We don't want to
nuts.
see that happen whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't either. But all right, so let's get to the Phoenix Suns as let's set the table. They got swept, of course, by Oklahoma City. First round done. Owner Matt Ishbia sat down with Burns and Gambo yesterday on 98.7 and Arizona Sports, and they addressed the elephant in the room about Devin Booker.
Devin Booker's our franchise player. I love Devin Booker. Devin Booker loves being here. Our coach loves Devin Booker. Our GM loves Devin Booker. Devin Booker is going to be here. Devin Booker is going to lead us to a championship here in Phoenix. That's what he's going to do.
I think that's the bottom line right there. He's not going anywhere. And that's that commitment, that loyalty. He's been here, 11 years now, and that they're going to either live or die with him. Hopefully they can grow and get to deeper in the playoffs the next couple of years to maybe make that run to the Western Conference title. And that's what Matt Ishbia's goal is. We're looking to make the run to win the Western Conference title. And it sounds like, you ever hear that, come hell or high water? Well, Devin Booker's going to be on this team, come hell or high water, for a lot of those fans and pundits out there that feel, hey, look, you trade him now, you get some assets. Well, number one, his extension kicks in next year to the tune of $75 million. I don't know who wants to pick that up, even though he's, 28 years old, 11 years in the league. Sometimes those basketball years catch up, which I think we've seen once in a while. But for right now, he will retire, I think, according to Matt Ishbia, as a Sun.
In that same conversation, Ishbia asked the obvious follow-up of Burns and Gambo. 8 seed, swept in the first round. Are you surprised how this season played out? Listen to his answer.
thank you for the kind words. We're proud of what we've done, and at the same time, we've got a lot more work to do. I'm not surprised. I'm pleased that we were able to do it as quickly. I thought that we would make the changes. I know the things that we said we were going to do. It's hard. It's easy to say, hard to do, and actually hard to do and people to realize it. And I think we did it where people realized it also, that you can actually watch the games and see that we play hard. You can see that the type of care and love the players had. You can see a different energy and vibe and grit and toughness. And so very proud of it. At the same time, it's 1 year. This is the culture that we want. This is what Suns basketball is going to be going forward. And so we got to continue it, and we got to continue to lean in on it and not change and not make it so that we fall back to another way. And so I'm happy to get more involved as I was, and I'm happy that our team and our leadership around was able to execute at the level that we did. And at the same time, we got a lot more work to do because we haven't hit our goals yet.
I really felt, Roc, I think we all did. You, me, and Jimmy felt at least they had enough talent to make the play in. More than that, it was like, okay, if you can go beyond that. I think the other thing that we had, the trepidation we had, was can everybody stay healthy? The question mark with Mark Williams was, can he play back-to-back? Can he stay healthy the entire year? Jalen Green at the time, we didn't realize that as a young guy, 23, 24 years old, he'd have that hamstring injury as long as he did. Then you had guys coming and going, but I think what made a lot of us believers that they would win 40 to 42, 45 games, whatever a lot of folks picked, was how well they played, initially with their defense, when they moved the ball, the three-point shooting with Grayson Allen and Colin Gillespie. And I really felt that Colin Gillespie playing as much as he did, spot starting once in a while, was really one of those most improved player kind of guys in the NBA. And then Grayson Allen really, I thought, took his game to an all-new level too, until he got hurt and he was limited the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think those are some of the positives to take away to build this team moving forward.
One more cut, and we heard this yesterday from the press conference about not trading Devin Booker.
Devin Booker's our franchise player. I love Devin Booker. Devin Booker loves being here. Our coach loves Devin Booker. Our GM loves Devin Booker. Devin Booker's going to be here. Devin Booker's going to lead us to a championship here in Phoenix. That's what he's going to do.
And I think that for a lot of Suns fans, that's great. Moving forward, they give him another piece or two around him so he doesn't retire the Phoenix Sun without a championship. I think that right now when you watch Devin Booker, the chatter coming out of the locker room from the other players is his unselfishness, where I think sometimes we wish he was more selfish.
Yeah, clearly.
To go get those shots and shoot, create those shots. I get it. Good team guy. But, man, when you're the bell cow of the team, you got to lead this team. You got to go get those points. You got to go make those things happen, especially at the end of a game.
Today's Replay Rewind is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe. Interact, need a check, make one call. That's all, 602-977-1900. And always at lernerandrowe.com. They can help. You get a free consultation as well. Again, 602-977-1900. So, Suns, they're done for at least for now. Not much we can talk about until we start getting into the draft, which they don't have a lot of draft picks, so we don't have to really worry about that. And then, of course, Summer League in Vegas, so that'll be here before you know it. We're already in May. Here we are, May 1st, which is just crazy to think that we're in May already.
And I think a lot of the guys, the Malawatches of the world, the Flemings, a lot of the young guys will be over there in the Summer League trying to improve their game. I mean, we had Jordan Ott talking about the game plan in the offseason was to get those young guys more reps, whether it be Summer League or whether it be pickup games over there at the complex, just getting a lot of scrimmaging in. Those guys will take a break, I'm sure, maybe take a month off, just kind of decompress, if you will. But I think the commitment is in that locker room. It's a very good locker room. It's got a lot of camaraderie. Guys are committed to staying around in the offseason and working out and just trying to build on that. But I just think one of the things they need, Roc, they need somebody. I just see if there's a free agent big man out there that can really come in and protect that paint or be aggressive in the paint, so they can score a little bit. I think that's the one thing that they're going to have to look at because, to your point, there are no picks to give away in this draft for, I think, for the next 3 or 4 years, this Suns team.
So we are in May. So, of course, you got NBA, NHL playoffs, Kentucky Derbies tomorrow. You got the Preakness on the 16th. PGA Championship, 14th. French Open's the 18th. And then the Indy 500 will be here on May 24th. All right, Barry Bloom, senior MLB contributor for Forbes. We're a month into the season. Baseball's already loaded with tons of storylines. Ohtani is chasing a Cy Young. We got a December lockout looming, and the D-backs are riding one of the wildest stories in the game when it comes to Vargas. So we're going to talk to him right after this ESPN Radio 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The Arizona Diamondbacks continue their road trip as they make their way to Wrigley Field for a 3-game set with the Chicago Cubs. Today's game from the Windy City got underway at 11:20 this morning, and the D-backs currently trail the Cubs 6-5, but we're only in the 6th inning of that one, and we will keep you updated with scores as that game continues to roll along. Cinco de Mayo is here, and Twin Peaks is celebrating all weekend long through Tuesday at all 5 Valley locations. Enjoy sizzling deals on your favorite Mexican cocktails, ice-cold drinks, scratch-made food, and the scenic views Twin Peaks is known for. Whether you're just catching the game, meeting up with friends, or looking for the best party spot in town, there's no better place to celebrate. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views. Barry Bloom will join the guys next.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. OD's, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
You push hard. You train hard. Shouldn't your soda work just as hard? Meet Who Knew, the superfood nutrition soda packed with whole vitamins, electrolytes, and antioxidants. Only 5 grams of natural sugar. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. Voted the #1 soda for athletes. Whole food nutrition. Great taste. That's Who Knew. Go to HUNUsoda.com and use code ESPN for 10% off your first order. Who Knew Soda. Soda that's actually good for you. WhoKnewSoda.com. Code ESPN.
Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lure and Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lure and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Are you looking for career opportunities with great benefits and job growth? How about the chance to make an impact? What we do here at the City of Phoenix matters. 14,000 employees and counting, all dedicated to making a difference in the communities where they live, work, and play. So come join us. Help us do work that makes Phoenix work. You can see all open positions and apply at phoenix.gov/jobs. This message is sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
It's Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, hard hit ball. That's into center field, a base hit. The Ildemaro magic continues here in Chicago, and he now possesses the streak in franchise history.
That was today. Ildemaro Vargas, 3 hits today in Chicago. It's been one of the best stories in baseball across the board, batting, over 370 now after today. I think he went in today at 367, 6 dingers. A non-roster invitee turned National League Player of the Week. And joining us now, Barry Bloom at Boomski, a senior contributor for Forbes. He joins us now, the right to a guest sign here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Barry, Roc and Manuch, hey, buddy. How you doing today, man? What's going on?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. Always love having you on, and I want to just get your take.
Thank
I mean, you got a breakout here at a guy that age of 34. And he 3 for 3 already today, or 3 hits it today. Can you compare this story? I know it's only a month into the season. Can you compare this to anything you've seen before in the 40, 50 years you've been following this sport?
Not at 34. I mean, I don't remember somebody, basically who's a 9-year minor leaguer who was released by this team already, basically coming back and generating a great start like this. I mean, just who knows when it'll be over and who knows what's going to happen after it as teams adjust to him. But he should keep the run going as long as he can.
And Barry, as Roc alluded to, he's currently the 378 right now, first in the majors. His OPS 1.087. That's third in all Major League Baseball. When you watch him, is there a consistency, whether in the field or at bat, that you notice right from the get-go this year, more so than the last couple years as a journeyman?
No, I think what you should be asking me is whether I think he's going to sustain this, and I don't think he will. But like I said, he can ride it, bless him as long as he can. We'll see what happens when it comes to June or July, or when the oblique injury pops up. I mean, there's just so many things that can happen. So I think what everybody should do is just enjoy this in the moment and not, extend out to how far it may go or what may develop out of it. This isn't a 24-year-old who you have a lot of upside potential with that is going to be part of your system for a long time. So I think it's a great story for right now.
Speaking of young guys, how about 22-year-old Jose Fernandez hitting 326, 1 for 3 on the day? You got him. You can play him at third. You can play him at short. You can play him at first base. Truly, probably one of the most all-around young guys, young players we've seen in Major League Baseball. Can play literally every position, but probably catcher and pitcher.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it kind of has to be these days, because with the 4 or so, with the 4 position players that you have on the roster, aside for your 8 position players and a DH, that's your 13. So the guys who are on the bench basically have to be able to play anywhere. It's not like the old days where you had your 9 pitchers, maybe 10. Then you'd have 5 or 6 guys on the bench. One would be your right-hand pinch hit specialist, your left-hand pinch hit specialist. Then you also have, at that time in the National League, your pitcher was hitting 2. So that gave you another position player. Now it's like, with the shortage of position players that you're allowed, you really have to have players that are multi-talented. And it's great that, they picked that guy up. And then, compare it to, I didn't look at it today, but last time I looked, Judge and Ohtani were both batting in about 250. So, I mean, these are great pickups for the Diamondbacks right now. I love Arenado's, wake-up call, comeback since the start of the season when he looked like he really was searching at the plate, and now he's hitting again. He's still terrific at third base. To me, he's the anti-Manny, and I think he always has been. Great guy, really accomplished, no chip on his shoulder. He just goes out and plays. That was a great pickup for the amount of money that it cost them in the offseason.
I want to throw a name at you, Barry, as a comparison to Vargas. Jose Batista. He was like a 28, 29-year-old journeyman, had been with 5 different teams, and then all of a sudden he randomly turned into a 54-homer guy with the Toronto Blue Jays. Can you put him up there? I mean, as maybe a comparison? Because I think Batista, if I'm not mistaken, you know this better than me, but he had some mechanical issue with his swing, and he fixed it, and that's what kind of, unlocked something for him at the age of like 28, 29 years old.
Okay, but refresh my memory there. What season is that you're pulling that out of?
It would have been, if he's 30, this would have been 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe. That when Batista was 29, and I think he's like 34 now. So 5 years ago.
Right.
So, no, my point is a guy that was a journeyman for a long time, older. 28, 29 is kind of older. And all of a sudden, here he is. I mean, you can also throw a Nelson Cruz. He was an all-star at 33. His first time with Baltimore. So I don't know. I'm just trying. There's these good stories.
Cruz is a steroid guy, so that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. We won't go. We won't go there. We won't go there.
Right.
All right. Let's change. Let's shift gears. Because I got to get your take on Shohei Ohtani. 0.60 ERA through 5 starts. And the Dodgers have already had him pitch without hitting twice in his last 3 starts. Can he keep this up? That's a huge workload for him.
Okay, well, what's his offensive numbers?
Come on, dude. I'm not like a stat guy, Barry. I mean, I don't have these numbers in front of me.
Are you pulling these stats off the top of your head?
Well, I know his ERA is 0.60. That's all. That was my story.
His batting average. His batting average is 250 or so at this point. So I think what I thought last year was going to be the case when they brought him back slowly and put him back in the rotation was that his going back to pitch at age 31 was going to be deleterious to his offensive numbers, and it has. Last year, there was a huge dip right away, and you had great, games in the playoffs, which offset it. Certainly, the game where against the clinching game against the Brewers in the NLCS, when he hit the 3 home runs and struck out the 10 guys, the guy was fantastic. The guy should be ultimately probably the MVP and the Cy Young Award winner when everything straightens its way out at the end of the year offensively. I mean, obviously, he's not going to keep hitting like this. But I just think working towards, all the work that you have to put in every day to do both things is a bit much after a while.
Yeah, I mean, he's batting 273 for what the stats show. I had to pull it up. But, he didn't hit twice. He didn't hit twice when he pitched. So, I mean, he's got 6 homers, same as Vargas. Put them at the same level for MVP.
OPS 897, 897.
Yeah, I guess when Vargas wins like 3 MVPs, we'll start talking about it.
So Barry, when you watch Ohtani last year and what we're seeing in modern era baseball, is there a comparison with anybody else that's come down the pike in your short lifetime or mine and Roc's that you can even be a comp with this? Or is this something we need to enjoy during our era of life and watching this young man?
I think, Freddie Freeman said it best during the playoffs and World Series last year, and everybody keeps repeating it. The guy's a unicorn. Babe Ruth didn't even do what Ohtani is doing now. I mean, at the time, when Babe Ruth was with the Red Sox and he was hitting and pitching, and rarely, 1 year, I think 1919, he played some games in the outfield when he wasn't pitching. But there was no DH. So obviously he hit every time he pitched, and his numbers for hitting when he pitched were not very good. So he never had the chance with the Yankees to do both, because when the Yankees obtained him in 1920, they just converted him into a hitter. And I think he pitched 5 more times for the Yankees in the rest of his career, and he was 5-0. He started 5 games and won every one of them. So we never saw Ruth do what Ohtani's doing on a day-to-day basis. And there's nobody else in baseball who's even coming up who's doing this. There's nobody in any other country who's comparable to doing this. So I think, yes, you have to enjoy what he's doing. And if I have to say, pick, this guy's the best baseball player of all time. Sorry to, Ruth, to Mays, to Aaron, to every Judge. I mean, Judge is a wonderful player, but nobody's doing what Ohtani is. Nobody did the game that I pointed out, except for Rick Wise in 1991, I think it was. He pitched a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs in that game as a pitcher. Wow. That's the only game that was comparable to the 3-homer, 10-strikeout game in history. So, and that was a regular season game. So it's amazing. I can't say enough about how great Ohtani is.
Barry, last one, and I know you just I want you to pull out your crystal ball. Will there be a lockout in baseball in December?
We talked about this a lot in the spring. We did a whole session on it. My guess is no. I do believe there will be a lockout in December, but I don't think it's going to carry over to the regular season. And I'm very cynical about this. I think when you have teams like the Dodgers that are generating $1 billion of revenue, or the Padres that are generating $600 million worth of revenue, once you don't start playing games, and you don't have to pay your players, but you're also, every game you lose, you're losing a lot of revenue. And I just don't believe that the top 5 to 10 teams in Major League Baseball, revenue-wise, are going to want to lose games and lose revenue to try and get Kansas City an even playing field to win the World Series. I just don't. And I think the owners will crack like they always do, and they always think that they can scare the players into a strike or a lockout and basically hold them out to get what they want. And it never works, hasn't worked in history. And the last time we had any threat of this, the 94 strike cost us the end of the season in the World Series and playoffs, and started the 95 season with the embarrassment of the replacement players in spring training. And then the National Labor Board stepped in and ended it. So it's like, no. I mean, I'm going to, until I see that the owners are in lockstep with each other, they all just have different interests. The players have the same interests from top to bottom, from the top plate player to the minimum plate player. Every player in baseball has the same interest. All 30 owners do not have the same interest. And you have the television situation layered on top of that, which is not a collective bargaining issue with the players. That has to be settled among the owners themselves. And as far as I'm concerned or heard, they're not even close to doing that. I mean, you have to do that before you even get into collective bargaining. So what are you going to say? Well, we don't have a television contract, or a 30 split on regional television money between all the teams, but we want you to do a salary cap. And then it just doesn't, it makes no sense. And then the Padres are selling for $3.9 billion. Yeah, really? I mean, San Diego was a small market team, and the Diamondbacks, they just sold 10% of the team at a $2 point something billion value, and it raised $200 million for them. I mean, no, I just don't see the lockout.
He's Barry Bloom, senior contributor for Forbes with Roc and Manuch here on ESPN Radio. You can follow him on X at Boomski. All right, buddy, we will do this again soon. Thank you. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Great, and thanks always for having me on. I really enjoy it.
No, we love it too. That's Barry Bloom, of course, joining us here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. We'll shift gears from baseball to football as the NFL schedule is going to be released in a few weeks, a couple weeks, and it could drop as early as the 13th. We're going to tap into a little bit of that, some of the stories around the National Football League next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Wright Toyota.
Looking for the perfect place to eat, drink, and watch the game this spring? Twin Peaks is serving up bold, scratch-made favorites, handcrafted cocktails, and the coldest Bud Lights and Michelob Ultras in town, poured at 29 degrees. Big screens everywhere, all 5 locations, and an atmosphere like no other. Bring the crew and make it a night. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. TwinPeaksRestaurant.com.
Join us at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the new Ping Scottsdale Tech putters. The new mallets introduce IQ alignment technology. Inspired by eye-tracking research, each model improves your focus to sink more putts. And with the center of gravity behind the shaft, there's one to fit your stroke. Visit us at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Arizona businesses need more skilled workers, and our students are the solution. At the Pima Joint Technical Education District, we build the talent Arizona businesses rely on. With cutting-edge programs in health and technology and hands-on career training, our 30,000 students will graduate ready for high-demand careers. JTED builds the future of Arizona's workforce. Learn how our students will bring excellence to your business at pimajted.org. This message is sponsored by Potoff Private Philanthropy.
Living and having fun in the hot summer sun can turn deadly when mixed with stimulants. Stimulant drugs raise body temperature, impair the brain's ability to regulate heat, and makes it harder for the heart to cope with extreme heat. Studies show 1 in 5 heat-related deaths have involved meth, a stimulant that overheats the body, putting users at higher risk. Be aware and stay safe. Meth and heat is a deadly mix. Visit thenewmeth.com.
Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
When I grow up, I want to be a ballerina.
Because dancing makes me happy. I get to entertain people, and nothing makes me feel more like me.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Olivia a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a great team to put on a show. It also takes a great team of caring people to keep a dream alive. And now my dreams are coming true.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Wright Toyota On This Day report. Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale.
All right, on this day back in 1920, he would go down and basically redefine the sport in pinstripes. Babe Ruth, first home run as a Yankee. And then ironically, 1951, Mickey Mantle's first career home run there for the Yankees.
On the same day.
How
about that?
But 31 years difference.
How about that?
Yeah.
Look at that. The Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, the Mick, when he was had his legs were all torn out and bummed out with the knee injury.
So that's your On This Day report brought to you by Wright Toyota. All right, we'll shift gears a little early. We'll jump into football at 50 as the full 2026 regular season schedule expected to drop May 12th to the 14th. May 13th is probably the main day, the most likely target. Now, a few games have already been confirmed. Seahawks, the champs, they will open the season on Wednesday, September 9th. Rams 49ers will be on that Thursday we're used to, but they'll be coming from Australia. Cowboys and Ravens in Rio on September 27th. The Saints are reportedly hosting the NFL's first ever Paris game, likely week 7 against the Browns. That's the rumor. And then 49ers Dolphins matchup in Mexico City is locked up for week 11.
What about the Niners? They got to go to Australia. Mexico City's not quite. It was only probably 4-hour flight down there. But the Niners are the de facto for 2 international games, which, Kyle Shanahan and that group, hey, just will play anywhere type of thing. That's their complaint.
What's one thing you want to see when the NFL schedule drops for the Cardinals?
What's one thing I want to see?
You want to see?
I'd like to see it. Well, they probably doubt they're going to make Monday Night Football. Probably do Thursday. I'd say Thursday Night Football game. Hope it's a good game.
Well, I think they need to hide the Cardinals in all the 1 o'clock games.
So
seriously, I mean, 1 o'clock or 10 o'clock our time.
Yeah, they probably will.
You don't want them in prime time.
No.
You got a new coach. You don't know what quarterback you're going to have.
I don't know.
Who's going to win? Building roster. Who wants to see them? You don't want to be embarrassed on national television on Monday night, Thursday night, or Sunday night.
I don't know. I think that it'd be a good litmus test. I don't think you want
to. You need a litmus test.
I'd like to see them play one of their divisional teams, whether it be the Rams.
They used to always do that on
Seattle.
Thursday, right?
Thursday.
On prime time or
Yeah.
Amazon.
I would love to see one of those games on Thursday, how they fare with this new staff and all the players they have with one of their division rivals. One of those 3.
But primetime games are games for teams to get exposed. Bad teams to get exposed.
Well, you got the number 3 pick in the draft.
All right, he's electric. Okay, but he's still a rookie running back. You don't know what he's going to do.
You got Marv Jr. Hopefully, he can explode back on the
you want this team to have their growing pains on national television.
Absolutely, and I think America wants to see that. What they'll see is like the Niners or Seattle, but all of a sudden,
let me just throw this at you. They did this with the Chicago Bears. Remember with Williams?
Yes.
Willie Williams?
Yes.
They gave them 5 national games. And how'd they do that year?
It was
5-12.
It was a mess. I remember that with the first Caleb Williams
that
game.
was last year.
But that's the NFL, right? They're going, okay, number 1 pick in the draft. We're going to expose Caleb Williams. Well, he got exposed.
Let him cook in the dark.
I hear what you're saying.
Don't let anybody see it.
The way the National Football League works is, okay, who is the number 1 pick? I can almost assure you that the NFL is hoping that
they don't draw.
Fernando Mendoza will start for the Raiders and get him front and center.
I don't think it matters. The Raiders are going to draw nationally. You're going to peek into
true.
a Raiders game. A Cardinal game, you're not. Prime time is for contenders, right?
Okay.
Not pretenders.
But
you've said that before.
Yes, but I will say this: they'll get more eyeballs if Fernando's starting versus Kirk Cousins.
Oh,
you say
of
Raiders.
course. But you don't think they've already scheduled? You don't think? I bet the Raiders get 3 games, 4 games.
I think de facto hoping that Fernando starts, and then they got their fine running back, the kid that came out of Boise State.
Yep.
That both of them have a decent line. You can see some exposure. So those 2 of the top picks we've seen the last 2 drafts. NFL's hoping that those guys would be viable if they're going to give them that kind of exposure. Now, the Raiders' exposure de facto from being the Raiders. But if they could get Fernando, maybe week 3 or 4 starting, and Genti in the backfield is having a good year, that's what the NFL wants to do. They want to market their top picks. They want to put them out there front and center. Whether they flame out or not, they want them, this is the draw.
It's obvious.
You're not going to have
this. But this conversation is about the Cardinals.
No, I know, but Cardinals. I think the only thing is they might because of the Michael Bidwell loyalty, give them a bone. Maybe it's a Thursday night game. They won't give them Monday night.
What does it tell you? What does it tell you when Calais Campbell, who's going to play another year, 19th year, decided not to stick around here in Phoenix for another year?
Because he wants to go somewhere where he has a chance of winning and going to the playoffs, which people are saying that if the Ravens don't get it done this year under new coach, new staff.
You expect them to after a brand new coach? I don't give him that. I'm not going to say that this is a make or break year for them.
Well, here's the thing, though. But Lamar Jackson's running out of time.
Maybe that's the case, but I don't think that the coach has got a new head coach.
Yeah, but they're going to expand their offense. They're going to expand they're making additions to their defense. They want to do a lot more things, but he wants to go somewhere where he has a chance to at least be in the hunt in the divisional playoff. They fell flat last year, big time. So this year they're trying to resurrect. I think he feels he's got a better chance. He'll play, half the games. By the way, he played 75% of the snaps last year. They're only thinking maybe 40 to 50. He played more because he never got hurt. So I think that's what the Ravens are looking at. I think he's going, I got a better chance to go back there and at least be in the hunt for the divisional, not the title, but just making the playoffs.
Around the league, rookie mini camps kick off across the league this weekend and into next week. Also, the NFL Referees Association's collective bargaining agreement will expire at the end of this month. Well, of course, we are in May, so May 31st. And then the labor talks, I mean, they're a little contentious right now. So the league has reportedly already started recruiting some replacement officials as a contingency plan.
Here we go again.
I think it's going to be fun. I love it.
You love chaos, don't you?
Well, who doesn't? I mean, I will tell you this, I'm not going to gamble.
Well, that's
I'm
interesting.
not
You
going
bring
to
that
gamble
up.
if we got fake refs, replacement refs.
You bring that up, Mefford. I heard somebody talk about that about 2 weeks ago when this all came to fruition, that you'll see a lot of the gambling or the betting on the National Football League might curtail because of that. And what they're doing now, they're interviewing a lot of college referees or former NFL officials, maybe bringing some of those guys out of retirement as well, too.
So, Manuch, I booked my flight this week to go back to Columbus.
Okay.
In November for see the Ducks and Bucks.
Woo. You have a propensity to go see those
One
games
game
every
a year.
That's a hell of a game.
Speaking of Big Ten, big golf classic. Big Ten Golf Classic is coming up at Camelback Golf Club on May 16th. We have a special guest in person that you'll be able to watch on YouTube to kind of break it all down. If you're a Big Ten fan, if you want to be part of this incredible tournament that's been going on for a long time, we'll get into that next. Plus, sports handicapper Scott Spreitzer. Roc and Manuch with no Jimmy B today out here, right here on ESPN Radio Phoenix.
Hey, I'm Ron Wolfley, and I'm sitting here with Garrett Lee, co-owner of Moving Team 6. Moving season is quickly approaching, and I didn't even know there was a moving season. How would you advise people?
Actually, the month of May is National Moving Month. That's right, we have a National Moving Month. Yes, we will be busy this summer, so we always recommend calling us as soon as possible. Let us come out, do an on-site estimate. Let us meet you.
If you've got a move coming up, go to movingteam6.com for more information.
Your move is our mission.
Right in the heart of Arizona Athletic Grounds, one of the largest youth sports complexes in North America. Bristol's is the ultimate hangout for families and sports fans in Mesa. Come experience amazing double-decker cheeseburgers, award-winning wings, smoked barbecue, and fresh, craveable salads. With seating for 500, a full bar, 20 beers on tap, and over 100 TVs, happy hour Thursdays, Friday and Sunday from 4 till 6, plus trivia night every Thursday night. Bristol's, where Mesa comes to eat, watch, and win.
Hey, Arizona State football fans. London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Arizona businesses need more skilled workers, and our students are the solution. At the Pima Joint Technical Education District, we build the talent Arizona businesses rely on. With cutting-edge programs in health and technology and hands-on career training, our 30,000 students will graduate ready for high-demand careers. JTED builds the future of Arizona's workforce. Learn how our students will bring excellence to your business at PimaJTED.org. This message is sponsored by Potoff Private Philanthropy.
Social connection keeps your brain strong. So does a challenge. When you stay socially and mentally active, your mind stays engaged, and you might even lower your risk of dementia. Learn something new, pick up a hobby, or catch up with a friend. Up to 40% of dementia cases could be prevented or delayed by addressing risk factors like loneliness and inactivity of the mind. Explore alz.org/healthy habits for more tips. This message is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association and the Arizona Department of Health Services.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Friday. And the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
All right, for the 42nd year, the Big Ten Golf Classic Charity Golf Tournament is coming up May 16th at Camelback Golf Club at the Aviante course.
Good job,
which
Roc.
is one of the hardest courses. Like, somebody said what courses, like, I can't stand Ancala. Ancala is probably one of the hardest courses.
I played it once.
But Aviante is right up there. Kind of like a Scottish kind of feel, like you're Irish, that kind of.
You're Irish playing on a Scottish course.
Yeah, one of those. No, I know that's. You know what I mean? Like that kind of style of golf course. So
kind of a pub links type thing. Open, a lot of grass, traps, all kind of up and down hills, what have you.
So I don't even know how to introduce you, Beth. I mean, are you the tournament director, or are you just
committee chair?
Beth
I don't know.
Mickley is here, just in charge of like this.
Beth.
Beth is how it works. So, how many years you been involved in this tournament?
6 years.
6 years, and the proceeds go to Make-A-Wish Arizona. Kind of talk about Make-A-Wish Arizona and why has that been the charity of choice for the Big Ten Classic?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that Make-A-Wish started here in Phoenix.
Okay.
And the first wish was Chris Gracious in 1980. And his mother is a Big Ten alum, Illinois. So.
Excuse me, before you finish, where'd you go to school? Yes.
Oh,
let me finish. Ohio State University.
I don't need to say anything else.
You're one of those people too, huh?
That's why she's on the show.
Yeah.
If she would have been Michigan, she would have made it.
Don't be a hater.
I'm not. I always rooted for Ohio State. Coming from Pennsylvania, they take on Michigan. But when they used to take on Penn State, I was rooting for Penn State.
All right, sorry to interrupt, Beth.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had to get that across. All right, Miami guys, keep walking. Keep walking. All right.
I used to like you, Dan.
All right, so tell us more about the Make-A-Wish Arizona. It started here.
The whole foundation from this. So in 1983 was actually the first time that this tournament started, and it was only Michigan State versus Ohio State.
Okay.
I almost screwed that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it was at Mountain Shadows. So they were the only two teams at first, but after that, and they were like, oh, let's just raise some money for charity, blah, blah, blah. And they did for local charities. And then it grew to like the Big Ten, which was actually 10 teams.
Yeah. Yes. Not 16. Yes.
18, isn't
18
it?
now, yeah. 16, 8. I can't keep track.
So it's just grown every year. And
so I saw last year you guys raised $30,000 just for the Make-A-Wish Arizona, right? So how is that money served to the kids and the family?
Well, okay. So Make-A-Wish told me that last year they granted 476 wishes in Arizona.
Okay.
Every year over 500 children are waiting for their wish. And every dollar to Make-A-Wish Arizona grants a local wish.
Got it.
That is awesome.
So when you see these wishes, has there been any wishes to come do the show with Roc and Manuch? We had anybody that wants to do a wish?
We had
we
one.
Had one.
The one kid, it came out with Ho, former running back with the Steelers. He was here.
Merrill Hodge.
Merrill Hodge, yeah. He
Merrill
brought the young
Hodge,
kids. We put him on the air. He was great. But I did not realize that Make-A-Wish started here in Arizona. I thought that was a national thing. But you mentioned, yes, sir, with the lady and her son. And she's continued to this day. She's still involved?
She's a founding member, yeah.
So let me ask you, it's Big Ten. So do you have to go to a Big Ten school to play?
Nope.
Okay. Are you encouraged to wear Big Ten swag? I mean,
of course.
And in your years, 5, 6
this
years.
This is a competition, man.
So there are a lot of.
I'm from the.
So let me ask you, because there's a lot of Big Ten people out here. So I know there's a huge contingent of Ohio State fans, of course. But what would you say is number 2? Oh, Ohio State over there? Yes.
All right.
Yes. Everywhere. Because the Michigan people have been coming out of the woodwork since they won the national championship in basketball. But all right, so what would be another Big Ten school that kind of shows up in this tournament? Like a lot
Michigan State. We get a lot of Michigan State people.
We got Rob Fredrickson coming on our show later in the show. He's a Michigan State first round pick.
You know who else is Michigan State? Matt Ishbia. So
Yes.
where is he? I'm calling Matt out. I'm calling you out, Matt.
Get
a team, man.
I'm sure he'd participate.
Yeah, he probably
supporting
would.
the Big Ten like that.
So all right, so you've been doing this for a long time. What makes this tournament different? Obviously, playing at Amiante is unbelievable. And the May weather's going to be great. Talk about that for the folks that maybe haven't played that course. And what can people expect?
It's such a beautiful course. We have a lot of cool things going on this year. We have like a $25,000 hole-in-one.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have a $25,000 165-yard shootout that 4 people will get to participate in. And we have a $2,500 putt.
Okay, nice.
So we've got a lot of fun stuff. You know, of course, we have the launcher hole and beat the pro.
How many breaks in that putt?
Well,
Is that a
you know
three-breaker?
what? It should just be like a 5-footer because everyone would miss
it's
it.
the easy one, yeah. So how do people get involved in this? Because there's, like I said, there's so many Big Ten fans, but you don't have to be a Big Ten fan. But it's an excuse to be able to play in a golf tournament and get all the bells and whistles. Because Amiante is a very
gorgeous.
high-end golf course to get on. It's hard to get on. So where do you have to go to sign up to register? And are there, if you can't play, can you still donate? How does that all work?
So we have a website.
Okay.
And it's Big Ten Golf Classic. It's all spelled out. Like BIGTEN, not the number.
Okay.
Big10golfclassic.com. All the information's on there. You can donate directly to Make-A-Wish through our page on there. And what's really interesting about this year is we partner with Dormy Network, and that's DORMIE, and they own like 7 golf courses across the country. The closest one is San Antonio. And you can buy an exclusive membership with them. It's $20,000, and you're a member at all 7 courses, and your family. They can come with you. And it's like this unlimited golf. You can get a house or a cottage or whatever, so you can take your whole, bunch of people there, buddies there, and have a great time. They have private chefs. They will donate 100% of that money if you buy through me.
Wow. Okay, that's good stuff. So
indefinitely.
Yeah, that's
but it's a new member, but there has to be somebody listening right now that's
especially
thinking
guys
about it, and that's a perfect way to join it.
Especially if you're a golfer and you travel a lot for work and you bring your clubs and
want a variety of courses.
Yeah, because there are
They're
memberships
beautiful.
like that, but they're hard to find. You never hear about them. You just find out after the fact. That I have a buddy that I was on a golf trip with. He's like, "Yeah, I'm part of this group, this network," and but it was a lot more than $20,000. So
Yeah, and they'll waive fees for the first year.
okay, so that's pretty good too. So what is your role on game day on like the tournament? What is your role?
I'm drinking and playing golf.
Your responsibility.
So are you consider yourself a pretty good golfer?
I used to be.
Used to be.
I used to be a pretty good golfer, but you know what I will do? I challenge any team out there, whoever beats the Ohio State team, I will go to their watch party bar on a football game, and I will buy their drinks for them.
Look
the
at
whole
you.
team.
Wow.
Anyone who beats the Ohio State.
Is your team that stacked? I mean, obviously.
Well,
it is.
Craig Matthew used to play at Ohio State,
Okay.
so his team's going to be pretty good. And another thing, Jamie Skelton, who's a basketball player from Ohio State,
Okay.
remember Jamie? He's coming in, and he's bringing me Terrence Stiles signed basketball, Keith Byers signed football, Katie Smith hat signed. I have a Craig Krenzel, Rex Kern football that's
quarterback.
signed. So we have some.
But it's not. But
interesting
you
things.
don't want to make this. I mean, I like it to be. It sounds like it's the Ohio State.
Well, I'm
Classic.
challenging every other university to bring it, man. I mean, I'm the only one that's bringing this stuff. There's a lot of people in town.
Craig Krenzel, the quarterback against Miami at the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
He was the winning quarterback. He said Keith Byers as well signed some side
Yeah.
I got to
He
play
was
with
a
him 1 year.
Heisman runner-up.
Yep, I played with him 1 year in a golf tournament. Still have a picture in my office of him and Keith. That was cool. Keith
So you
Byers
got-
went out to play for Philly.
You get the best of the best coming out of Ohio State there.
No, that's
course.
great. All right, so let's wrap up here. So who's the again? The website is Big Ten Classic.com. Okay, and you are looking for players. You're looking for donations and sponsors. Anybody at the last minute that wants to sponsor. It's all part of the Make-A-Wish of Arizona, which makes dreams come true for children with life-threatening medical conditions. So I am all about
That's
that.
awesome.
So
And, really quickly, 2 things. One, I have to thank Evening Entertainment Group, which is Bottle Blonde, Hi-Fi, Mother Mother Tuckers and Backyards, because they have been our main sponsor for years.
Good.
I mean, they've just have been solid on all of that. And I forget the other thing I was going to say.
It happens. Comes with age. You'll think about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Hey.
You'll wake up. Oh, yeah.
I mean, why would you say that to a woman?
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
He's off your Christmas list, isn't he? He's got to be now. I mean,
No,
come
but
on.
you'd think I'd get like a signed football from him.
Why would you want to sign football from him?
if
I
I
mean,
if I can
give
find
it to the-
he does
we'll
carry
give
a
it-
Sharpie.
We'll give it to the losing team.
Yes.
at least
4 Damanucci signed football.
you can give a signed football with the clipboard. I'll sign both of them. Manuch's contribution to the Big Ten. It'd be a Big 12 contribution from K-State to the Big Ten. So that'll uplift your tournament. That's for sure.
Good
Oh,
stuff.
how exciting.
Beth, thank you for coming down here in person. Again, it's the Big Ten Golf Classic. It's on May 16th. What kind of day is that?
Saturday.
Oh, it's on a Saturday. You get
9 a.m. shotgun. I mean, it's
perfect. Camelback Golf
perfect.
Club, Aviante Golf Course. Of course, what's the other one called?
the Padre.
Padre, yeah. But the Aviante Golf Course is
That's
one
nice.
of the nicest golf
Yeah, it
courses in the city.
It
And they've
is.
been doing this for 40-plus years, so they got it down.
And one of our prizes is a summer membership that they're throwing in. Yeah, we've got, and they've got Gainey Ranch. We got some good stuff.
No, it sounds like you guys have been working hard on this, and I understand. I just got done our Learner Road Games Back Off tournament last week, and there's so much work that goes into them. But clearly, the golf tournaments are great, and for those of you that complain about golf prices, which I get it. I mean, I get it. Playing in golf tournaments, it almost makes up for it because you're going to pay X amount of dollars to play, but you're going to get food, drink. You're going to have opportunity to have all these prizes, and you get these auction items and all that kind of stuff. So it works out. Especially if play, of course, on a Saturday.
And it's important to note too the entry fee, which is $275, which is golf and food.
It's only $275.
That's my cost, and you get this really cool
bag.
cell phone mag thing that clips. That's a magnet that you can put on the side of the
golf cart.
Put your phone right there.
So you're telling you're $270. See, I didn't want to say
It's
the price, 'cause
amazing.
I just assumed it was over $1,000. So if it's $275 to play, I bet Aviante is $275 right now to play.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I think. And
yeah.
people are always like, "Oh, it keeps
And it's a
raising every year."
Saturday
I'm
at
like,
9 o'clock?
I mean, the prices of golf.
Price is right.
Have
it's
doubled.
ridiculous.
You know.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, I think it's a pretty good deal.
No, that's
and then every penny we make goes to Make-A-Wish.
I love it. I love it. All right. Again, May 16th, Camelback Golf Club. Again, Big10GolfClassic.com. Beth, thank you. Appreciate it. Coming up next, we'll continue. We're going to get into the story behind the Kentucky Derby. Prediction markets finally found a sport they can't offer. We'll get into that next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, Arizona State football fans. London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up. When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof. Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Biggs is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Biggs American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Join us at Van's Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the new Ping Scottsdale Tech Putters. The new mallets introduce IQ alignment technology. Inspired by eye-tracking research, each model improves your focus to sink more putts. And with the center of gravity behind the shaft, there's one to fit your stroke. Visit us at Van's Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Think you can handle a few drinks and still drive safely? Think again. Buzzed driving is drunk driving, and drunk driving can land you in serious trouble. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving. Even one drink can cost you thousands in fines and legal fees. Plus, take away your driver's license. So plan ahead. Use a designated driver or rideshare. Get the facts at drivesober.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
It's Friday. The guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
All right, Kelsey, Polymarket, FanDuel, they've muscled their way into the NFL, the NBA, baseball, even the Oscars. But there's one sport they can't crack, and it goes off tomorrow, the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. The Kentucky Derby drew last year $234 million in wages.
Wow. Incredible.
And the prediction markets can't offer it. Why? Because there's a federal law back in 1978 that stated that they cannot do that. And, you know, you would think Kentucky Derby, a 2-minute race, 20-horse field, millions of casual eyeballs, people out of woodwork like the Super Bowl are watching it. They want to bet it. I know tomorrow, Arena Sports Grill will be packed. The people will be lined up at 10 o'clock. Well, they'll open at 9 and we start doing your bets, the off-track betting, and then it'll go into the afternoon. And, right before 4 o'clock will be the big race. But, these prediction markets, that's the sport that they can't touch because of this so-called Interstate Horse Racing Act. Now, what this is, it requires anyone offering wages on a race to get consent from the host track. Churchill Downs has given that consent to like traditional sports books like DraftKings, but not to the prediction markets. And people are, there's a lot of people in these prediction markets. You talked to our producer Les. I mean, he was one of the first ones that we knew that was doing the Kalshi thing. And it is Kalshi, right? Am I saying it right? Kalshi.
Yeah, Kalshi.
And
Kalshi.
It's Kalshi. I was saying it right.
Yeah, Kalshi. You were right.
Yeah. And because I got into it like a year ago, and I threw some money at it. And, then I just got bored of it. I'm trying to predict who's going to be the president of the United States.
It's just nothing more than a prediction for that particular time. And I guess my question would be, with them coming on the scene, you talked about what was set back up in 1970. I get all that. But with this coming on scene, I guess what's to prevent them? I mean, can they challenge that? I mean, can they challenge that in court of law? Do any kind of not so much to do a restraining order, but I just think that if they can muscle away into other avenues, why not?
I think it will take away from the horse race
betting itself.
Corey LaRusso will join us a little bit later. He is part of not Churchill Downs, but Turf Paradise. He'll join us at 3 o'clock to
clarify
that down. And I don't know about clarify that, but last year $234 million. I mean, and then when you look across the whole card, because you're not just betting that one horse, you're betting that one race. You're probably betting the other ones. It's $349 one day. That's the whole Derby card. Amount of money. It's a massive pot of money. I mean, it's just huge. And these prediction markets, you're hearing about them, and many of you have maybe dabbled in it, maybe you haven't. But I got into it, like I said earlier. I kind of just put my foot in the water, but then I got kind of bored of it because you don't get paid right away. Like I know my DraftKings, I see my money
right away.
I don't see any right now, but I mean, I am NBA playoffs have killed me. And
you in a slump over there, Roc?
I'm opening it up right now. Let's see where I'm at.
How many credits you have?
I start, at so much. I think it doesn't let me in over here. It's not.
You're blocked here, right, Toyota?
I think it's probably said, all right, you've had enough, and we're going to block you for a while. Yeah, I'm down to $12.67.
It's.
I mean, I've been up over like 1,500. But I just after NFL season, I just started playing baseball and NFL, NBA just got killed. I got to add some money.
I just find it so interesting how there's this now that app in Kalshi that you can predict or at least hedge a bet on whatever. Like I would think with the Kentucky Derby, we'll catch up with Scott Spreitzer at the bottom of the hour and talking about some of the props and some of the things that are out there. That there be some kind of format where, the race will start exactly at, 3:02, it's 6:02 or whatever that is. I mean, they've been doing it for so long, and then you wonder how a horse race can be the only one, maybe not the only one, maybe one of many that can prevent them from moving forward with this.
Well, I wonder because we all know that horse racing is not where it used to be. It's down.
It's waned a little bit.
The sport's somewhat broken because of some of the controversy, the fact that odds could shift on you really quick. But the prediction market, it could actually help the sport grow. And it could probably bring out, because the sport is definitely missing out on the younger
I'd agree.
App-driven.
I would agree.
App-driven audience, right? I mean, that's we all know like the 20-somethings. They're all on their apps, and so are we at 50 and 60. But it's one of those things where I think if the horse racing community can kind of put their heads together and figure a way to kind of utilize it, why not? I don't know. That could be a bad thing.
So, Laz, you're one of those 20-somethings Roc's talking to. Are you going to be wagering at all with the Kentucky Derby tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Is this something you would do?
I'll have quite a few horses, and I like the whatever you call them, the Quinellas. We can pick first, second, third. We dive into all of it. It's a lot of fun. But I love Kalshi. You guys will laugh at this. I have a bet on who's going to win season 50 of the show Survivor, because me and my brother are diehard Survivor fans. So I'm betting on that even. That's the one reason I like Kalshi. You can really bet on absolutely anything. It's awesome.
So if you pull up your app right now, does it, because I have it, but if you can pull it up right now, will it show you like what's getting the most play? Like it could be, I don't know, like you said, a television series, who's going to win, or I'm just, so like what are some of the big predictions that people can jump on right now that's getting play? Or what's trending?
There's an entire trending section on Kalshi. Believe it or not, like for example, today, people are betting on what the high will be in New York City in temperature. So people, I don't know if it's rigged. I'm not sure what's going on, but people bet on absolutely everything and anything. Anytime Trump speaks, those are all trending because they're like, what's he going to say? How many times is he going to say it? But right now, actually, some of the sports stuff is trending because it's NBA playoffs for tonight. But up there is some of the entertainment stuff like Survivor and The Amazing Race, all that stuff. But right now, some Trump stuff and a few other things. But like the number one thing bet on today is the temperature in New York City. That's trending the most. So that's Kalshi for you.
So what is it? What is the over-under, or how is it listed?
It's the same thing as a sports book. The prediction markets are weird with the way the wagers are, but it'll still give you, I guess, a median of what the over or under is in temperature. And so today is, I think, like 62.5 or something like that. And they'll say, do you think it'll be higher or lower than that? I don't think it's that low right now. I'll go check it out. But they'll do their research and say, okay, this is what the median, the middle average of the temperatures are going to be. Now let's let people bet on it because they'll take all the money they can get because there's some DGens like me who will bet on that kind of stuff.
So when it comes to, is it the New York Weather Bureau, is it the airport at LaGuardia? How do they determine where's that source? What is the weather source? Does it give you that, or you're just on a whim there?
No, you're just on a whim, and it shows you all of the money coming in too. So right now, $20 bet, 40, $10,000 bet, 42, $9, $1. So it's just a bet spamming in. Another one is what will Trump say during his remarks at the Village? The top thing being bet on is make America healthy again, the American dream. So, I mean, there's people saying a lot of stuff. How long will the government shutdown last? I mean, it's incredible, and people are betting on all of it.
I wonder if the weathermen there in New York City are allowed to do that. They're betting on Kalshi as well, too, since they've got a heads up, or we call that insider trading, that their prediction. But even then, they can predict 65 degrees. It might be 66 degrees. And I think the Roc's part, who's the official weather report coming from? The airport, the top of the Empire State Building?
I'm sure they've got guys somewhere, because 99% of the bets are on 64 to 65 degrees for the highest temperature in New York, and 62 to 63 is only 1% of the bets. So people got their bets on the over, that's for sure.
So let me ask you, because one thing that I didn't understand is, how do they pay out?
It's so weird. They pay out based on, it's like a prediction market. So it's not wagered in money. It's wagered like, so if you were to bet, let's say, look, I can type in $100 right now. It pays you back your money, but it like takes time for the payout to, almost like a horse race. Like it doesn't pay out until the bets are settled, and it revolves around the market and how much people are betting it. So like it's not a minus 120, it's like a moving line, and you're not going to know what you're going to get back until that line settles. So that's the annoying part about it for sure. I think it might be a little bit different if you're betting a basketball game or a sports game or something like that.
So we'll move on after this, the last one. When it comes to, give me an example of a bet you made, how much you put in for the bet, and what did you walk with?
So right now I took my favorite Survivor player at plus 800, which is what it would be on the sports book to win Survivor. But because it's moving up and down a little bit, I have the fixed line, but I still don't know what my total payout will be. So if I win, I'm expecting around $800, but that line moves a little more. But for example, I did bet earlier this summer on Kalshi when I was in a state like California where I couldn't use DraftKings, and that is more of a fixed line. So I put $100. Let's go to my last bet here. Put $100 on the Dodgers, the Angels, and the Cubs, and that 100 paid out 253. So it's still normal lines and something like that. But the way they give you your money and your wagers is just so confusing, and that's the goal. They don't want to be like the sports book. The reason they're the prediction market is because they change, the lines aren't fixed. They move around a little bit. So it is kind of frustrating, but it can be very confusing, no doubt.
And that's why I got out. I mean, I was just like, all right, I put $100 or whatever it was in, and I started betting little stuff like
I would
like
be
just
dizzy trying to deal with that.
It was. So, all right, good stuff, Les. Thank you. Speaking of the Derby, pick a number, get a horse. Win your horse wins, places, or shows. It's Roc and Manuch Derby Draw presented by Orangedale Lounge, which is North Scottsdale. Tomorrow they got a big deal going. Today at 3:15, we will open up the phones. You'll pick a number between 1 and 20, and it's randomly selected. And if you say, let's say 7, and it could be Renegade, which is the favorite, you will have that horse. And if that horse wins, places, or shows, you will win. So that's coming up in about just less than an hour. So stay tuned for that. But next, Scott Spreitzer from Doc Sports will join us. 4 NBA playoff games are on the board, plus the Derby, and we will get into that with him right after this ESPN 620 Sports Center update with Gladys.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The Arizona Diamondbacks continued their road trip as they made their way to Wrigley Field for a 3-game set with the Chicago Cubs. Today's game from the Windy City started at 11:20, but the D-backs dropped the opener by a final score of 6-5. Arizona battled back, highlighted by a Geraldo Perdomo 3-run homer that brought them right back into it. They just came up a little bit short, and they'll look to bounce back tomorrow in another day game from Wrigley Field. Cinco de Mayo's here, and Twin Peaks is celebrating all weekend long through Tuesday at all 5 Valley locations. Enjoy sizzling deals on your favorite Mexican cocktails, ice-cold drinks, scratch-made food, and the scenic views Twin Peaks is known for. Whether you're catching the game, meeting up with friends, or just looking for the best party spot in town, there's no better place to celebrate. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
When it comes to sushi, reputation matters, and Sushi Brokers Arcadia has built theirs on being the best sushi in Arizona. From traditional rolls to bold fusion creations, like our crowd favorite, Seafood Dynamite, and the must-try sushi pizza. We've got something for everyone. Our famous happy hour is every day from 3 to 6:30 with fresh favorites like the California roll, spicy tuna roll, and the surf and turf roll, topped with seared steak. Sushi Brokers Arcadia, 44th Street in Indian School.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
We get it. A meal shouldn't cost you nearly $20. And we agree. At Venezia's Pizzeria, lunch or dinner for under $10 is still a thing. And for an even sweeter deal, stop in and grab a Slice Rewards card. Get a stamp for every qualifying Slice special. 10 visits, 1 free qualifying special. Simple. And every Tuesday, we double your stamps. That's your free pizza twice as fast. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition with great rewards.
Now, sports gamblers, Scott Spreitzer, one of the leaders and most trusted names in the country. Nobody watches and studies games more than he does. From TalkSports.com, here's Scott Spreitzer, exclusively on with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
We got a lot of NBA. Of course, we got the Derby. And Scott joins us every week here on Roc Manuch, Jimmy B, on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Been doing it for over 15 years. Been big part of our show. Very grateful. And you can follow him on X at Scott Wins, and he's part of DocSports.com. Now, he's got everything up there, not just basketball. Everything you can think of is up at DocSports.com. All right, Scott, let's get going. Let's start with Game 6 with Pistons in Orlando. Kate Cunningham went off for, 45 in Game 5 to keep Detroit alive. Top-seeded Pistons are staring down history right now. 3-1 series. Oh, wow. But do the Pistons cover, or does the home crowd Orlando get them a chance to celebrate?
Well, I don't. There's a reason Detroit, I think, is a road favorite every time they're in Orlando. Basically, they're the more talented team. Everybody does know that, but they're showing their lack of playoff experience to me in this series at times. And I've stayed away from the side and total in this one. It's up to -4 as far as the Pistons being the chalk, and that's the biggest or the most points they've laid so far on the road in the series. But what I did do, guys, is I jumped on Oscar Thompson over 6.5 rebounds for Detroit. He's been a bright spot this postseason for Detroit. He's topped this rebounds prop of 6.5 in all 5 playoff games, averaging over 9 rebounds per game. And he's likely Detroit's best option on the glass, even if Tobias Harris was able to play with that injury listed as questionable. But Thompson is getting plenty of court time. And again, I think it's one of those situations when I dig for props, I look to see if a key player that gets a lot of minutes or a star player is likely to get less minutes or not play, and then see how their fill-in, their next guy up, has been doing in the series. And Thompson's been just playing great basketball as far as getting to the glass. So I think at 6.5, I think the books missed it a little bit. Again, averaging over 9 rebounds per game in the playoffs, and I played him over his 6.5 rebound prop.
The second game, the Cavaliers at the Raptors. Cleveland leads 3 games to 2. Scott, last night this was -3.5 Cleveland. It's now -4.5 Cleveland. Why the bump in the point?
Yeah, lack of, I guess it's, Brandon Ingram, excuse me if I can speak English. Brandon Ingram is listed as doubtful, and that's got a lot to do with this line moving. Plus, Scotty Barnes, who's expected to play again, is far from 100% from all the reports. So that would be the reason for the line climbing up a little bit. Obviously, home teams have won all 5 games, although Toronto covered in Cleveland in Game 5. But you know what I liked what the Cavs did? They didn't just win doing what they had been doing. They won by changing things up at halftime the other night. They were doinking around and trailing after 2 quarters in that last game, and then they came out in the second half over the final 2 quarters. They started taking their time, and they worked the ball to their bigs. And Toronto really doesn't have the players to deny that kind of game. So it kind of reminds me, and I'm not saying Cleveland wins by 50 and goes on a 65-10 run, but it kind of reminds me of what the Knicks did after Game 3 against Atlanta. They adjusted. They started playing a different style of offensive basketball. And the Hawks didn't have the bodies to match up or to change to that style. And I think Cleveland has found something here in the second half of that game the other night. So I like Cleveland minus the points here, guys.
All right, Game 6, Lakers at the Houston Rockets. This one has flipped completely. Lakers were up 3-0. Houston's rallied off, 2 straight wins without Kevin Durant. Now LeBron's group, which hasn't cracked 100 points in 2 games. Luka's out. Reeves is back, but he didn't do much the other day. Home court in Houston, momentum. Do the Rockets complete the unthinkable comeback here? Force a game
I kind of like the Lakers here plus the points. The funny thing is, though, is that when it was announced that KD would not play in this game, the Houston Rockets started taking more bets. That's been kind of like the last 24 hours. People have been thinking if KD doesn't play, Houston's better equipped to beat the Lakers. So that's an interesting point. You got one of the guys who's been one of the top players in the league, although he bounces from team to team. He's out, the line goes up. Don't see that too often. But I've been dialed in on this series, guys, and I started playing the Lakers in the first couple of the games, and the reason is I thought Houston doesn't play the type of style that a team should when they're laying points against the Lakers, because you had Doncic and Reeves both sidelined. You mentioned Reeves came back the other night, but you had your 2 scorers sidelined. So I would want a team that gets up and down the floor in a hurry, that shoots quicker in the shot clock, and makes the hamstrung Lakers keep up on the scoreboard. In other words, hurry up the Lakers when the Lakers have the basketball. They weren't able to do that because of the style they play. As you mentioned, Reeves is back. I think he shook off the rust the other night. Again, Houston's style of play creates a more deliberate tempo, and that kind of plays into what the Lakers need to do to have a chance to win the game. And it allows LeBron to control the tempo when the Lakers have the rock, when you play a deliberate style. So one final note on this one, Houston has lost 10 of their last 13, and by 6 points per game against teams that have won between 60 and 70% of their games on the season. That's just a little icing on the cake. But I think the Lakers slide in under this number. Even if they don't win the game, +4, I think, is the way to go.
Okay. All right, it's got the last one, the vaunted rival 76ers Celtics. Game 7. Now, I checked late last night. It was -8.5, currently -7.5.
Yeah, that's mainly because of a lot of question marks on whether Jason Tatum was going to be healthy or not after leaving the game the other night with an injury. It looks like he's going to. I mean, Mazzulla's come out and said Jason Tatum will play. This is one of the easiest, least time-consuming handicaps of all the playoffs, this particular series. I'm not saying the easiest to cash a bet, but it really comes down to whether or not Boston makes an efficient amount of their ridiculous amount of three-point attempts, or if they don't. That's what it comes down to. If Tatum and Brown can get their shot together, they win and cover, as far as I'm concerned. In Boston's 3 losses, guys, they made a combined 40 of 133 three-pointers. That's 30% from the 8th most accurate three-point shooting team in the NBA. In their 3 wins, 60 of 144, 42%. You go back 3 seasons now, a couple of interesting numbers, and it didn't help Boston last night. But Boston 60 and 14 straight up, 51 and 23 against the spread, off a loss. As simple as that. you're cashing at better than 67% of your tickets when Boston is off a loss if you back them. And number seven seeds, I should say, trying to close out a playoff series, they're 4-23 the last 27 times, losing by 9 points per game. Obviously, Philly is a 7 seed trying to close out, but I think Boston bounces back here, guys. And it was ugly last night. You know, they've had a couple of quarters now, the last two games, where they scored 14 points in one of the quarters and 11 points in the other. But back home, I think they get it together and cover the spread.
I know Embiid's day-to-day. We'll know probably right at game time. Will he be a game-time decision?
I think he's going to play. I mean, everything I'm reading is that he's going to play. I really do. And, you know, they obviously need him out there. Their record without him since, you know, over the last 3 or 4 years is 38% win percentage when he doesn't play. And so I think he's going to suit up. He looked like he was okay the other night. The key to me is just Tatum and Brown. If they can hit their threes, Boston could win this one, you know, by double digits. I mean, that's what they do. But, man, I was surprised because usually when they come off a loss, like I mentioned with that record, they're excellent. And they certainly were not excellent last night.
So, if I'm not mistaken, the Sixers are 3-0 against the spread in this as a dog, right? Have they covered the last 3 games?
Yeah, they've been taking care of business as far as that's concerned. Excuse me, when it comes to the spread, it'll be interesting to see because that first game, I believe it was the first game where Embiid came back. You know, Boston still whipped him pretty good. But now they're actually, I'm looking at the numbers here because I had to make sure I could remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, they've covered, 4 of the last 5 in this series talking about Philly.
All right, Saturday, tomorrow, Churchill Downs, Renegade, 4-1 morning line favorite, but drew the number 1 post, and no horse, Manuch, has won from the rail since 86.
Wow.
Could that change tomorrow? How are you handicapping the 152nd run of the Roses there, Scott?
You know, I hate the Derby. It always makes me feel old because I remember Ferdinand winning that race from the post in 1986, and how can that be 40 years ago?
Wow.
Give me a break. You know,
wow.
it's just crazy.
That's great.
Every time I hear about this horse, that horse, you know, Seattle's Flu, it feels like it was 5 years ago, not 50 years ago. But anyway, just it says something that the favorite is still the horse that's on the post. And as you mentioned, no horse has won from the post in 40 years, yet it's still the favorite. I think by post time, Commandment is going to take over as the favorite in this race. But as far as Renegade, it's so tough to win from the rail. Obviously, we just talked about that. You've got, 18, 19 other horses that are going to be trying their best to get as close to the inside position as possible when this race gets underway. I love Todd Fletcher. Irad Ortiz is the best jockey in this field. So I think they've got a good shot to break this long, drought. The bottom line, Renegade is the horse with the late kick in this race, but I'm not sure he'll be where he likes to be since he needs a quick start. He's got to have a quick start, and he likes to be more of a horse that comes on at the end with that kick, but you cannot, I think, approach this race that way when you're on the rail. You got to come out fast. So it'll be interesting to see if Renegade's able to overcome his normal style and win this race. If anybody could do it, as far as the pilot of this horse, Irad Ortiz could. The horse I like, guys, is Puma. The Puma at 8-1, 9-1 in that range right now. You could have got the Puma at around 90-1 a few months ago. So how crazy is that? But I love Javier Castellano. He won the Tampa Derby. He really looks at his best heading into this race. And he's going to be asked to stretch a bit on Saturday. That's the only concern because Puma is not really bred for this length of a race, but I think he can get it done. And I like what he did against top 4 horses. I mean, he beat Further Ado. He split a pair of races with Chief Wallaby, lost by inches to Commandment at the Florida Derby, came up short against Renegade. And the point of that is this horse has been up against 4 of the favorites in Saturday's race, and he's the only horse that can claim that. So that's my horse as far as what I'm going to have to win the race. We'll see how the odds change by post time. No real long shots from me, although this is a wide open race, guys. Maybe Golden Tempo, you throw in a couple of exotics at 45-1. Excellent trainer, Jose Ortiz, good jockey. But again, I think it's going to be the Puma by the time it's all said and done.
So, Scott, as we close up here, how would you bet this? I mean, are you a guy that'll bet just the win, or do you do, I don't know, some type of
Quinella,
yeah. How do you like to bet these type of derbies?
Yeah, when I start doing that, we're going to tie-in superfecta of 18, different horses. That's when I started getting in trouble. So what I've done over the years, especially in the Triple Crown, is I'm looking for matchups which aren't out yet. But I also will have money on the Puma to win. I'll have an exacta box on Commandment and the Puma, so either one of those horses can finish first or second and cash that ticket. And I might throw Renegade in there with the Puma also at some point. But, real basic for me, the Puma to win, exacta box, Commandment, and the Puma, those two for sure will be tickets of mine. And then again, as far as any matchups, unfortunately, we won't get any odds until tomorrow.
Good stuff. Scott, love it, man. Have a great weekend. Thanks for the time.
Take care, guys. Hey, appreciate it, man.
Scott, you got it. Scott Spreitzer joining us, DocSports.com. You can follow him on X tomorrow if you want to see where he's going to go with some of the matchups. But there he has it. Puma, which is a trendy long shot. This morning was 10-1. He just said 8-1. They're getting a lot of love from the experts, which was good to hear from him. From what notes I had, Puma was right there. And then Commandment, who won the Florida Derby, it was 6-1. And then exacta box with Puma. So Renegade, not a lot of love on there. Well, Corey LaRusso will join us a little bit later. He owns horses. He's got horses over in California. We'll get his take and see what he thinks, too, a guy that breeds these things. Let's see what he thinks.
These horses.
These horses, yes. It's like, oh, man. So, anyway, appreciate Scott for joining us and talking Derby as well as NBA playoffs. All right. What's one thing Cardinal fans should be hoping for when the NFL schedule is released? We will dive into that next. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio, Phoenix.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Hey listeners, how do you help first responders and their families when they need help? Well, you can come to a benefit concert party at Kierland Golf Course in the Marshalls Pavilion. Friday night, May 8th, 80s cover band Rock Lobster. They tear it up in the AZ band scene. Food, drinks, and fun for great cause. The 100 Club of Arizona has been assisting public safety members since 1968 with the line of duty death, mental health, safety equipment, and scholarship for family members. Go to 100club.org. That's 100club.org events page.
Hey, it's Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, trusted across Arizona for helping injured people after serious car wrecks. And I'm Sean Forrester, managing attorney at Lerner & Rowe Law Group. We may sound alike, but Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a completely separate firm focused solely on criminal defense. We handle serious felonies, DUIs, and misdemeanors with decades of courtroom experience. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call Lerner & Rowe Law Group now at 602-977-1900.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch. You push hard. You train hard. Shouldn't your soda work just as hard? Meet Who Knew, the superfood nutrition soda packed with whole vitamins, electrolytes, and antioxidants. Only 5 grams of natural sugar. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. Voted the #1 soda for athletes. Whole food nutrition. Great taste. That's Who Knew. Go to HUNUsoda.com and use code ESPN for 10% off your first order. Who Knew Soda. Soda that's actually good for you. HUNUsoda.com. Code ESPN. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. Whatever you're craving, we got it. Tequila cocktails, premium bourbon pours, and top shelf spirits served over ice balls that hit just right. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. Yep, all here. And with 5 Valley locations. And don't forget the teeth-chattering 29-degree drafts we're famous for. Pair it all with scratch kitchen bites that actually satisfy. From shareables to hearty favorites. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
The guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Today at 3:15, pick a number from 1 to 20, and that will correspond with a horse in tomorrow's Derby. And if the horse wins, places, or shows, you will win some gift cards from our friends over at Orangedale Lounge in North Scottsdale. How about that?
Very nice, Rock.
A little Derby Day headquarters. And they're doing a hat contest, and they're doing like best contest or best hat and worst hat.
So the ladies could come in.
So
with
you wear a K-State hat, you probably win. Worst hat, right?
I need a new one. My one's wearing out after 4 years. That sun beats it up. So a lot of the ladies will come in with the hats they have like there at their Churchill Downs. Would you be serving mint juleps, Rock?
Yes, they will be.
Will they really?
I won't be serving them, but yes, there will be. So, the NFL schedule will be coming out here in. I think it's going to drop on the 13th. And I wanted to pose this question: what's one thing you want to see when the NFL drops the schedule for the Arizona Cardinals? And, you have a Cardinal team now that has a new head coach. You got Kyler Murray's gone, so you got a quarterback situation there, right?
Right.
I want to go. I want to see the NFL hide the Cardinals in the 1 p.m. slot
the entire year
until further notice.
Okay. Till they develop.
I do not want primetime games on the Cardinals schedule this year. 0. Rookie quarterback situation, rebuilding roster, new head coach. The last thing this franchise needs is to get embarrassed on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football in October. Bury them in the 1 o'clock slot. Or, of course, the 10 o'clock here.
Let them grow up, right? Instead of getting embarrassed?
Let us figure it out in private how bad this team is going to be. Because let's be honest, I don't know how anybody can. I noticed in the last few years I've made some friendly gentleman bets with some diehard Cardinal fans. 10 wins or more or whatever. I've won every year because they have not done anything to make me say, wow,
sure,
all right, 9 wins. I mean, I can't say that this year. I can. What does Vegas have at a 3.5?
I think it's 3.5 or 4, somewhere along those lines.
I'm maybe 5, but I mean, what have they done so far to improve their team in the offseason with free agents?
Well, they've gotten depth, guys. It's pretty much what they've got. It's pretty much depth. You Salamula, the guard, he's a starting guard. You got him at left guard. He might be the only. There might be a couple here and there,
but there wasn't a big splash. I mean, I have a feeling that this year is the we're going into this year saying, all right, we're gonna ride it out, but then next year is the year that this team can turn around.
And I would agree with you. The only splash to your point the Cardinals have is Jeremiah Love. Trey McBride, All-Pro. I'm sorry, Trey. He's not the Gronkowski kind of popularity when you had Tom Brady. Now Trey will be an All-Pro, but he's not a splash guy. People aren't going to tune in to watch Trey McBride. Now they will tune in to watch Jeremiah Love, 3rd pick out of Notre Dame.
All right. So did people tune in to the Raiders with Ashton Gently, who was Genty was a first-round pick, 6th pick overall?
No,
Why are they going to do it for Jeremiah Love?
Because I think they feel that Jeremiah is a better running back, a more explosive player than Ashton Gentry is, because he can catch, he can run, he can block. He's more he's more broad of an athlete as far as what he can do now.
But Gentry was the Doak Work winner. Sure. He was the Maxwell winner. He was the Earl Campbell winner. He was an All-American. He was first team.
I get it.
He was rushing yards leader. He had all the accolades that Love.
No, I know. I'm just saying for the Cardinals that he might be the guy now. Now it's going to be Fernando Mendoza. So for the Cardinals, if there is a guy, it'd probably be Jeremiah Love. Otherwise, since Marv Harrison Jr. hasn't really done anything to be explosive on the scene, and the only other thing I could think of is if you get a rookie quarterback and another rookie quarterback going at it, which you could, because the home schedule has the Raiders taking on the Cardinals. We don't know when that's going to be. You might have Carson Beck versus Fernando Mendoza. I don't know. Maybe they're not going to. Would that be a flex game? Probably not. Just to see those two young men, because you don't want to see a couple of kids trying to figure their way out in the National Football League, and then in the meantime just have one of those ugly, sloppy games. So if the Cardinals, they might get rewarded, Roc, for Michael Bidwell's sake by the league, maybe a Thursday night game.
Why is that a reward? I'm telling you, it's the opposite.
Because what
if they get beat 27-3?
Okay, but I'm just saying
it's an embarrassment.
But how many times have we seen the Cardinals on prime time when they didn't deserve to be on prime time over the years? A lot of times, for the loyalty's sake of Michael Bidwell and the commissioner and his being on a lot of these committees, they might say, you know what, we know you're not going to have a very good team this year, Michael, but we'll slip in a Thursday night. How about that? Not Sunday, not Monday, but we'll slip in a Thursday night, or maybe toward the end of the year, we might slip in Saturday game, or something like that, because that's happened. We've seen that in the past. It's like, what are the Cardinals doing playing on a Thursday or a Sunday night if it's not warranted that they don't have the guys to go ahead and play? With Kyler Murray and some of those guys that were the team was making a run, they might reward it, but it's always seemed that way because of his being on committees and Goodell saying, "Hey, you've been a good owner, Michael. We'll give you a Thursday night game." That's the only prime time I could see for this season.
At a quick glance, 7-14-1, 22 total primetime games in the last 10 years. Straight win rate at 31.8%.
And the last time that they were on Thursday night, they got hammered by Denver. Big time. The game was over at halftime. That was when Josh Rosen was quarterbacking for the Cardinals.
They were out here, right Toyota, the right price, the right selection, and always the right dealership, right Toyota. All right, we're going to continue talking about the Derby next. Corey LaRusso will join us next. He's a PR guy and does all the OTB over at Turf. And then we'll talk some football a little bit later. And don't forget our contest at 3:15. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, ESPN Radio Phoenix.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's part particular plumbing for particular people, with upfront pricing before the work starts, so there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
When I grow up, I want to be a ballerina.
Because dancing makes me happy. I get to entertain people, and nothing makes me feel more like me.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Olivia a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a great team to put on a show. It also takes a great team of caring people to keep a dream alive. And now my dreams are coming true.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. It's Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
We got a Roc and Manuch Derby contest coming up in about 15 minutes that we will need you to call in and give us a number, and that number will correspond with one of the horses tomorrow in the 152nd running of the Roses at Churchill Downs. And whenever there's Triple Crown talk, we got to catch up with our buddy Corey LaRusso. Joins us now on Roc Manuch with Jimmy B. Corey, what's up, man? What's going on, buddy? You're a little busy this time of year.
How are you guys? It's a beautiful day here at Turf Paradise, where I am now employed and been helping out since we opened up late in the fall. And we actually close our first meet as new ownership and new management tomorrow afternoon. Kentucky Derby Day is annually our closing day here at Turf Paradise, and tomorrow will be ours, but we're getting ready for another season in the fall, and we'll have a lot of more renovations going on before then.
So talk about that. Let's talk about turf before we get into obviously the Derby tomorrow, but Turf Paradise has been a staple here in the Valley for a long time, and it's an incredible venue, and you and your team have come on board to kind of maybe give it a refresh. Talk about some of the changes there, and what can fans who have maybe have not been out. I've been out there in 2-3 years, so I'm just curious what are the things that you guys are doing.
Well, remember, I've been involved in horse racing almost as long as I've been involved in golf. My father was a horse owner. I have been as well. There's a gentleman who owned Rockingham Ranch named Gary Hartunian out of Los Angeles, multi-Breeders' Cup winner as an owner. And he put in a bid to start managing and possibly taking over the ownership of the property and the track at Turf Paradise. And as it's working right now, there's a lease in play that we are running the track for several years now. It's kind of an open-ended contract, but Jerry Sims kind of wanted to step to the side and not be the owner of the property or the track so much anymore. And he gave the management to our company, which is called Skyfall. And it's a management company out of California, Los Angeles specifically. Gary Hartunian is his name. He has been my boss for about 15 years on the side of everything else I've ever done. We've invested together, real estate, horses. As a matter of fact, I was involved in 2 of his Breeder Cup owners back in the winners back in the day, which was Roy H. and Stormy Liberal. That was 2017. But he decided to step out of the ownership breeding market and buy an actual track. He tried Arizona Downs. That deal kind of fell by the wayside, and he started talking to Jerry. And since midsummer last year, we've kind of been taking over the management, the ownership, and making renovations. We've already put in $14 million into the track. We plan to do the same thing going into next year so that when we open in the fall, we have a full-blown racetrack that's ready for 100% capacity. Right now, we're about 65%, more things to do, but there's a possibility that horse racing in Southern California, Santa Anita specifically, may go down in the next few years, and that would leave Turf Paradise to be the third track besides Del Mar, Los Alamitos in the Southwest to take the racing.
Wow. And talk about the OTB. I know you're big in the expansion of OTB, and you and I have we have frequented a couple places before you went over there for the OTB. But talk about that and what's expected tomorrow, and what can horse race fans or even fans in general that want to bet kind of give us some advice on OTB for tomorrow or tonight.
All right, let me hurry up with that one because we've opened up a number in the last, say, 6 months. We plan to open another 6 more before we open up in the fall. But let's talk about the race for a second because the race is really an interesting race this year. It's as wide open a field as I've ever seen. Obviously, there's going to be a favorite. They have the favorite this year as Renegade in the number 1 hole, the worst post position you could possibly have, with a jockey who's probably the best in the country, Irad Ortiz. Irad Ortiz has won 5 of the last 7 Eclipse Awards. That means Jockey of the Year worldwide, and he just has never won a Kentucky Derby. This year he has the horse to win the Kentucky Derby, and as luck would have it, he gets the worst draw in the world on the 1 hole. Yeah. So that's we're gonna have to see what Renegade's really all about. But at 4-1 as a favorite on the betting line, that tells you this race is wide open. There's 10 horses that I see that could possibly win. And if you want to talk about the stories behind the scenes, Baffert is back in the mix with Potente. He's about 15-1. You can't leave him off your list. You have, Bill Mott, who won last year with Sovereignty. He's back in the mix with, a long shot. So there's a lot going on. If you want to ask me who I think the top horse in this field is, from what I've seen in the prep races, it's Commandment. Yep. Brad Cox trained. He has 2 horses in the field. He doesn't only have Commandment, he has Further Ado. And both of his jockeys, Luis Saez and John Velazquez, are equally qualified to win their 2nd or 3rd Kentucky Derby because they both won before.
Corey, you talked a lot about the jockey, the horse. You just mentioned the trainer. You emphasized that a lot. Last year, I remember that as well, too. How important is that to find out who the trainer is for that particular horse, if you like, and you're trying to do some kind of Google search on that success or lack thereof from that trainer?
Yeah, I think it's important to see how the trainer has done in the last 3-4 months going into the Kentucky Derby because, trainers are hot, jockeys are hot. The horses are the horses. They're done with what they're told and how they're ridden and all that kind of thing. And when you get down to the actual trainer, the 2 best trainers of the year have not been Bob Baffert. He hasn't been in that mix, and neither has Bill Mott. It's really been Chad Brown and Brad Cox, and they both have horses in this race, and I really give them kind of the nod if you're looking at that. There is a sentimental story that people are following out of Southern California, and that's Mark Glatt. He has So Happy, and his wife passed away 2 months ago. And it's been a very heavy heart he's been carrying, as well as Mike Smith. And everybody knows Money Mike Smith, Hall of Fame jockey. And the reason they call him Money Mike Smith is because he wins big races. He's the mount for So Happy. And I haven't seen a lot of So Happy. And in Southern California, they're racing very small fields. So he was running at 5, 6, 7 horses, where some of these other qualifiers had to beat 7, 8, 9, 10 horses. So I'm not sure about So Happy, but I do like the connections. I love Run Happy, Mike Smith, Mark Glatt, and the sentimental story. And these things tend to show up in these races, so I wouldn't write Mike Smith and So Happy off.
Corey LaRusso joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN Radio Phoenix. We had our handicapper on earlier. Scott Spreitzer has been coming on for over 15 years with us. Commandment is one he liked. He pushed the 4-race winning streak and winning the Florida Derby, but he did point out Puma. And your thoughts on Puma? I think 10-1, 8-1, wherever it is now. A lot of experts kind of talking about him. What's your thoughts on Puma?
Yeah, the Puma and Chief Wallaby fall in the same category. Chief Wallaby is Bill Mossworth, who did win the Derby last year with Sovereignty. But the Puma and Wallaby came underneath Commandment. In the Florida Derby. He beat them by a good length, and they had faced each other once before, and Commandment beat him again. So I don't see. I like Commandment's post position, number 6. That's perfect. And the other guys are a little further outside. I mean, the Puma's what, in the 8 hole or 9 hole? He's fine. But I'm just saying, I don't think that the Puma is going to show another gear to beat Commandment in that kind of set. So, yes, I do like the Puma. I like him a lot.
Right,
I'm not familiar with that trainer so much, Delgado. I don't really know him. So I have to give Commandment the nod.
All right, post time 3:57 tomorrow. What's one thing you'll be watching for in the first quarter mile that'll tell you who's going to win this race?
If Commandment's in the top 5, I think he's in perfect position. But if Renegade gets out of the 1 hole and gets out in front, I think Irad rides him the whole way around. But he's going to have to get out of that 1 hole.
All right, and then let's get to the OTB. I think that's important because a lot of people, they don't necessarily going to be on an app or what have you. But when it comes to the OTB, kind of recommend, maybe some of the novice that are out there that don't know what an exacta box is. I'm not going to ask you to go through all that, but if you're just going to go out for the first time, you're going to go to an OTB. What recommendations do you have? And I know one will be getting there early.
In this race tomorrow, Kentucky Derby, pick your favorite horse and play him across. I mean, don't go crazy. Unless you're really going to go deep and try and make big money on a trifecta or a superfecta, which is the top 3 horses or top 4 horses. The exacta might pay a lot, but I would really, tomorrow, if you have a horse you like, just play him and enjoy it because this is a really tough handicapping race. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I can't wait for it, really, but I just think tomorrow, that's a tough one. I would do a double or a pick 3, meaning 3 races in a row or 2 races in a row to where you take a bunch of horses and maybe your 2 or 3 favorite in the Derby. If you're right, you're going to win a lot of money. It's that kind of race.
So what else? What about folks that want to go out to turf tomorrow?
You're more than welcome. I would come early. We are expecting a full crowd. It's our closing day, so everything's got to go. That means, events are going to be cheaper than usual. The food's a little cheaper than usual, but everything's got to go. So
Corey,
if you're looking, come out early.
So, Corey, they have Coors Light, right?
You know that I'm here.
Will you be serving the mint julep?
CL. That's it's a well-known fact in Phoenix.
I know. That's great.
Will you have the mint? Will you have the mint juleps flowing there as well too?
No, I don't touch our alcohol. I would never. That's not my thing. I like a nice beer in the afternoon on a beautiful day with the horses. That's my thing.
Yeah. He's Corey Russo joining us here from Turf Paradise. Have a great weekend. I know it's a closing, but I know the work gets started after tomorrow, I'm sure. And, let's keep this going so we can be part of it in the fall.
Yeah, we're really sad that we were closing tomorrow. We've picked up a lot of momentum. Our attendance has gone way up week by week, and we're really looking forward to the fall. So I'm inviting all your listeners, all my friends here in Arizona, please come see us in the fall. We'll be ready for you.
You can follow him on X at Corey LaRusso there. And all right, good stuff, buddy. Have a good weekend. Appreciate you making time for us.
You guys, good luck. Everybody, good luck.
Thank you. That's, as I mentioned, Turf Paradise tomorrow. Even tonight they got the Oaks and then the Derby tomorrow. But OTB throughout the valley and get there early. That's the key. The problem is you get to some of these and you think, okay, I'll get there at 3 o'clock.
Right.
You're going to wait in line just to place your bet. And that's tough. So anyway, Corey's presented today, and this is part of the show, Twin Peaks. Happy hour is underway right now. Goes on until about 6. They got tequila cocktails, premium bourbon, top shelf spirits over ice balls, local craft beers, plus those famous Michelob Ultra and Bud Light 29-degree drafts. You compare it with some of the scratch-made bites. So when it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't mess around. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and scenic views. All right, this is our time to have a little fun. And the phone number is 602-230-0620. 230-0620. All you're going to do is we're going to take as many as we can on the air, and then we'll take the others off the air. And what we need to do is just pick a number between 1 and 20. We randomly put the horses in order, or not in order, they're randomly, and you give me a number, and that number will correspond with the horse. It's that easy. And we have prizes for win, place, or show. It's all courtesy of Orangedale Lounge in Scottsdale. And so, again, how it works, you pick a number between 1 and 20. Each number is randomly attached to the Derby, and then we'll tell you who your horse is so you'll know on the air. It's that simple. $100 first place, 50s for second, and $25 for the third. So get on board right now, 602-230-0620, 230-0620. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
Join us at Van's Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the new Ping Scottsdale Tech Putters. The new mallets introduce IQ alignment technology. Inspired by eye-tracking research, each model improves your focus to sink more putts. And with the center of gravity behind the shaft, there's one to fit your stroke. Visit us at Van's Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus bar TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
It's Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Journalism is on the move as they turn for home, and Sovereignty is coming with him on the outside. The two of them go right by with a furlong to run. Journalism and Sovereignty, nose to nose, down to the last 16th of a mile. Sovereignty has taken the lead. Journalism is second toward the inside. Baez is third, and it will be Sovereignty to rule the Kentucky Derby. Journalism and Baez over next. Final Gambit was fourth. The final time was 2:02.31 seconds.
All right, 602-230-0620, 602-230-0620. We're doing a little, just have some fun here on a Friday. You give us a number between 1 and 20, and it'll correspond with one of the horses tomorrow in the Kentucky Derby. And win, place, or show. And if you get Those will get a $100 gift card for Orangedale, and then a $50 and a $25 for, of course, win, place, or show. It's that easy. So 602-230-0620. We'll get a bunch in here as we can, and then we'll take a bunch off the air as well. But let's get started here again. 602-230-0620. Andrew in Phoenix. Andrew, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you, man?
Doing good. All right. Give it your first stop. So you have the entire Derby in front of you. Give us a number between 1 and 20.
All right. I've been a little over the place, like you were talking about in your last segment. Super wide open field. I'm kind of liking the 12 Chief Wallaby. Bill Mott has pulled horses out of the Derby before if they're hurt. This one's kind of been coming back to health, but he ran really well last time. Has had really good workouts. I like it at 8-1 and the 12-1.
Okay, but here's how this works. You got to give me a number that corresponds to the horse number. You don't know what that is yet. Now, you could give me that number. Maybe you'll get.
We mixed them up.
We mixed them up. We're not going to make it that easy. So
we mixed them up. All right.
Yes.
All right.
So, if you say the number, it may be, Wannabe, but let's Wallaby. But
we jumbled up the ping pong balls for Andrew.
Come on.
Okay. All right.
So what
I'll
number?
Take 12 anyway. That's for fun.
You're close.
Yeah,
You got far. You have Ferran 30-1. So you never know. So, but
all right. I got a shot.
You got a shot. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for listening, Andrew. Appreciate it. All right, opens up a line, 602. Thank you. 602-230-0620. 602-230-0620. It's that easy. All right, Simon is in Scottsdale. Simon, what's happening?
Hello, Roc. Nice to hear from you.
Good to hear from you, too, man. How's your day treating you, all right?
It's wonderful. It's a great show, as always. Nice to hear Corey on the air.
Yeah, how about that? It's good stuff. He's been on the airways in Phoenix for almost 30 years. So, all right. So, give us a number between 1 and 20.
Spin that wheel, buddy.
Spin that wheel. Let's go lucky number 8.
Lucky number 8, Great White, 50-1. Great White.
Wow, long shot. Well, I'm rooting for Mark Glatt and Big Money Mike Smith with the sentimental choice number 8.
See, I like that. I think a lot of people are doing that. That's good. But all right,
Yeah,
Simon, good
but
stuff.
6 is
Appreciate
gonna be
that.
a tough one. Thank you. Thank you, Roc.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate you listening, buddy. Yep. 602-230-0620. 602-230-0620. So 12 and 8 are off the board. All right. Alan is joining us now. Alan,
Hey.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Just hanging out by the pool, having a beer.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Must be nice.
Sorry.
Somebody's got to do it.
No, don't be sorry, man. More power to you. All right, 1 to 20. Give us a number. Give us a number between 1 and 20.
1 and 20. I'm gonna go 6.
6 is the Puma. The Puma,
right.
which a lot of people are on that. That's good stuff. So you get the Puma. All right. Appreciate it, man. Enjoy that beer, man. We're jealous. Have fun at the pool.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening. All right. Alan is getting the Puma. 10-1 odds. All right. 602-230-0620. 602-230-0620. Again, it's our Derby contest for a $100 gift card at a bar that I'm involved in. So I'd love to have you there. And if I'm there, it'll end up being more than that, I'm sure. So John Z. John Z is up next. John, how you doing, man? What's up, John?
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, buddy. Give us a number between 1 and 20.
9.
9. Oh, the Commandment. Commandment at number 6-1 odds. Our handicapper and Corey Russo just said it too. I think everybody's on this horse, so not bad. You got a good one there. So appreciate you jumping on. You got it. So John Z gets the Commandments. The Commandments. All right, 602-230-0620. 602-230-0620. I feel bad for Lat. So this isn't an easy contest to run because he has to take your name and your number, and then he has to It's insane. So we get it. So we have it all down there. I don't know how we're supposed to do it. No, I don't want to QR code it or something. I mean, it's just all right. All right, we'll keep going. All right, Jesse's up next. Jesse, how you doing, man? What's up, Jesse?
Just maintain it. I got my number.
All right, what's your number? He's maintaining. What's the number?
Let's go number 5.
Number 5, the favorite, Renegade.
All right.
There you go, Jesse. Good stuff, man. You got it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. That's Jesse Gets Renegade. So the top 3 horses, I don't want to discourage you, but are off the board, at least when it comes to our handicappers today. But there are a few others that are still out there. So 602-230-0620. Adrian, what's up? Adrian's up next on Roc and Manuch.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, buddy. What's happening?
Adrian.
All right. 1 to 20. Give us the number.
I'm going to go with 17.
17 is, how do you say that? Ocelli?
I think it's Ocelli.
Ocelli?
Ocelli.
Ocelli. 50 to 1 there, Adrian. So that's all right. You may need to go to the refreshment stand. But that's all right. That's
frosty beverage.
Yeah, there you go. I appreciate it. All right, good stuff. All right, 602-230-0620. 602-230-0620. Who's up next? Carson is up next. Carson, how you doing? Carson, you are up next. How you doing, man? Give us a number between 1 and 20.
I will take lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13, Riviera. 20 to 1 odds. Not bad right there. You never know. So good stuff. Appreciate that. So we'll put Carson down there at 13. Still got a few more. 602-230-0620. 230-0620. It's our Derby contest. $100 gift card to a bar that I'm involved in. I'm a partner in Orangedale in Scottsdale. We just opened about 7 months ago. It's a dive bar if you like dive bars. And get some gift cards. So, all right, Mark's up next. Mark, you're on with Roc and Manuch. How you doing, man?
Yo, hi, guys.
Hey, man. So, so you'll give us a number between 1 and 20.
How about number 6?
Number 6 is already taken.
Already. How about number 9?
Number 9 is already taken.
Okay.
You're doing all right. Keep going. Next. You'll be all right.
Let's do 8.
8's taken.
7.
That's wide open. 7 is you. That is Cole Battle, 30 to 1. Cole Battle. So we'll give that to you, Mark. You got it right there at number 7, which is Cole Battle. So enjoy the day, man. Thanks for playing.
Thanks for the good stuff, guys.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. 602-230-0620. All right. Looks like Mitch is next on the board. Mitch, you're on with Roc and Manuch, ESPN Radio Phoenix. We need a number between 1 and 20.
Rock, what's going on?
How you doing, Mitch? What's happening?
I am great. Let's go high. Let's go number 20.
Ooh. Happy. So happy.
We're so happy you
so
called,
happy.
Mitch.
Yes, Mitch. So happy.
So happy, Mitch.
10 to 1. 10 to 1, Mitch. Good stuff.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you. Appreciate it. 602-230-0620. Got a couple more left. 602-230-0620. Michael is next up on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Hey, Michael.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good, man. Number between 1 and 20.
Is 6 still on the board?
6 is gone.
Let's say 9.
9 is gone.
Let's say 11.
11 is available.
Double aces. Great pick.
Chief Wallaby, 8 to 1 odds, Michael. So that's a good one. You should be in the money there. So hopefully if the odds play. So appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping on. 602-230-0620. The ladies are now calling in. We're going on a run here. All right, Beth is now on board. All right, Beth, give us the number between 1 and 20. Hi, Beth. Hi, Beth.
Which one has the best odds of winning that's left?
I'm not telling you that.
You got to give us a number.
Give us a number. No, I mean, I can tell you. Here you go.
What number is left?
All right, what's left
left
is what left? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 14, 15, 16, 18, and 19.
10.
You're going 10?
I think.
Big.
How about 1?
City.
No, I changed my mind. 1.
No. 1? All right, Tistastic. Yes, Beth, you have number 1. Tistastic.
All right.
Am I saying that right?
Tistastic, correct?
All right, Beth, we got a double shot of Beth today. All right, Beth, thank you. Have a good weekend. 602-230-0620, 230-0620. It's our Orangedale Lounge Derby contest. Give us a number between 1 and 20. It's going to correspond with one of the horses that we randomly mixed them up. So Max is on board now. Max, give us a number, buddy.
Hey.
What's up?
3. Number 3.
It's available. Further ado, 6-1 odds. 6-1 odds. So watch Further Ado for you for the contest. So got you down. Thanks, Max. Appreciate it. It was pretty easy. All right, Max. We got Max. All right, we got a few more. Let's get a couple more in before Rob Fredrickson will join us to talk about the Cardinals draft. Randy, I think, will be our last, unless Laz tells us we got another one. Randy, you are, I think, our last one right now on the air. You can still call in and get them. But who would you like to go with, Randy? What number?
Horse number 1, please.
Just taken by the last caller. Just taken.
Okay, I'm sorry. Number 2 then.
You got it. Sovereignty Path, 30-1 odds. The Sovereignty Path. That's a good one. A lot of people are talking about Sovereignty Path. So, all right, we got you down, Randy. Appreciate it. Laz, are we good?
Thank you much.
All right. That's the cat. All right, so if you want to call in and grab the other ones, 602-230-0620. It's 4, 10, 14, 15, 16, 18, and 19. So we got a lot of them in there. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And, it's a pretty mindless contest, to say the least. But, hey, if you, for what? Would that take you a minute? And if you get a $100 gift card, or $50 gift card, or $25 gift card?
And you got to play if you're going to win.
You want to win? Yeah. All right, so we're going to go to break. We're going to skip our – no, why we got to skip an update? You got to give everybody an update about what happened at Newbeck's today.
Absolutely.
So, Twin Peaks will be a little upset if they missed their update there, Laz. Come on, what's Laz also taking control?
I don't know, man.
Show. So we just put them through.
I think the contest threw us for a loop.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, that's your Friday gift. So, all right, we'll be back with Rob Fredrickson. We'll talk some NFL draft. We haven't talked to him since the draft, so get his take now. We've had a week to digest what the Cardinals did. We'll talk to him next. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B out here at Wright Toyota.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620 Sports Center Update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The Arizona Diamondbacks continue their road trip as they make their way to Wrigley Field for a 3-game set with the Chicago Cubs. Today's game from the Windy City got underway at 11:20 this morning, but the D-backs fell to the Cubs 6-5. Although Geraldo Perdomo hit a 3-run shot to bring them close, but it just wasn't enough. And they'll look to bounce back tomorrow in another day game from Wrigley Field. Cinco de Mayo is here, and Twin Peaks is celebrating all weekend long through Tuesday at all 5 Valley locations. Enjoy the sizzling deals on your favorite Mexican cocktails, ice-cold drinks, scratch-made food, and the scenic views Twin Peaks is known for. Whether you're catching the game, meeting up with friends, or just looking for the best party spot in town, there's no better place to celebrate. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views. Rob Fredrickson will join the guys next.
Looking for the perfect place to eat, drink, and watch the game this spring? Twin Peaks is serving up bold, scratch-made favorites, handcrafted cocktails, and the coldest Bud Lights and Michelob Ultras in town, poured at 29 degrees. Big screens everywhere, all 5 locations, and an atmosphere like no other. Bring the crew and make it a night. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. TwinPeaksRestaurant.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check. I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Being in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Road is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
Driving high can get you a DUI. Instead of getting behind the wheel, designate a sober driver or rideshare. In Arizona, drug-impaired driving is illegal, even if the drug is legal. So drive sober or not at all. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving, since drugs slow your reaction time and cloud your judgment. If you feel different, you drive different. Visit drivesober.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Most pedestrian and bicycle crashes happen early morning or at night. The leading cause? Drivers failing to yield. Since 2010, traffic fatalities for people walking and biking have doubled in Arizona. So stay alert and watch for bicycles and pedestrians. There's no such thing as accidents. Learn more about the risks at azdot.gov/no accidents. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
Mom, where are my keys?
Why do I have to take out the garbage?
I'm too sick to go to school.
Quit hogging the bathroom!
If you're having a hard time living with all the noise, it's even harder to live without it. One fake fentanyl pill could cost your child their life. Learn how to talk to your kids at talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
It's Friday, and the guys are live from Right Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
With the third pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame.
There it is. We've heard it multiple times. And joining us now, former Raider, Lion, Cardinals linebacker, Cardinals radio analyst, first-round pick himself from Michigan State, Rob Fredrickson joins us now on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. How are you doing, Rob? What's going on, man? How's your Friday treating you?
What could be bad about Friday?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Hey, before we get into the picks, give us your overall gut reaction to this draft class. Did Monty Ossenfort and this new staff come away with what you thought they needed?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I've been asked that a lot, and I don't want it to be a cop-out answer, but
okay.
I firmly believe you need at least 2 years before you can really evaluate a draft class. So I mean, we almost should be sitting here talking about the 2024 draft class, in my opinion. But, you know, just at first glance from the draft, you know, obviously I think they addressed a couple needs. They addressed some needs, and they got a hugely impactful immediate player in Jeremiah Love in the first round with the third pick. So, yeah, you know, I like it. I like what they did in the draft. But again, get back to me in a couple of years, and we'll have a more in-depth discussion on it.
Yeah, let me put that in my calendar invite. I'll send you one over there, Rob. We'll get it in there.
First day of May, circa 2028. We'll got that.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, when you watch these young men, the Loves, you probably didn't see Basantis much. You saw Carson Beck, maybe not Proctor. You looked at the first four. Anything in particular, at least you'll look at on tape that hopefully will resonate in the National Football League. Is anything in particular? Now, Love, home run hitter, explosiveness, but the other two or three that may resonate, what would that be if you're watching their tape?
Well, when I look at Caleb Proctor, he might be the steal of the draft. Honestly, I agree. He jumps off of the film when you watch it. He has the suddenness, the explosiveness that you don't often see, and when you see it in somebody, it's so evident, and he has that. Walter Nolan has it, but it's rare, and if we can get Walter Nolan healthy, keep him healthy, and now all of a sudden you got Caleb Proctor in there. This could be a disruptive defensive line all of a sudden. And, I think he's going to have an immediate impact on this defense.
And with that, when you watched, the last two Super Bowl champs, especially Seattle, look at the defense of Philadelphia and Seattle, and you see the makings. Philadelphia doesn't blitz anybody. Seattle came with it a lot, then they backed off. But to your point, the front five, the front seven, whatever, is that how you have to build that front seven to see what we saw last year's in the Super Bowl from a defensive perspective, Rob?
Yeah, because look, everyone's big, right? Everyone's strong in this league, but it's quickness. It's getting on the edge of blockers. It's really being disruptive. Those kind of guys are hard to find. The Aaron Donalds of the world don't come around that often, and I'm not comparing Caleb Proctor to that, but he does have some similarities in terms of size and his suddenness, his quickness off the ball. So if he can sustain that, and look, when he played against LSU, when he played against top tier talent in college, because that's kind of the knock on him. He didn't have a lot of competition. He was a baller against LSU. 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 3 hurries. This guy could play.
And then when you look at Jeremiah Love, the one comment, by the way, that kid at his presser, he's not going to be 21 till the end of this month, Rob. I thought he was just some 32-year-old kid up there speaking. I said, what?
Way ahead of his time.
What maturity? The one thing I love, he loves to block. He loves to take on backers or blitz packages, what have you. How many running backs have ever said that they want to take somebody on because they love to hit?
Yeah. It's rare, and that's probably the hardest thing for running backs coming out of college into the pro game is to pick up the blitz pickup and the pass protection. That's the hardest part of being a running back, I think, the steepest learning curve for that position. But from what I've seen of Jeremiah Love on film, he excels at that. He relishes it, and he's really good at it. So, look, he's got all the intangibles. He's got all the ability to be RB1 from day one, and he will greatly impact the running game and the passing game for the Arizona Cardinals.
So, Rob, when you were playing, who was the toughest running back to tackle?
Barry Sanders.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, no question, right? You did it right away. All right, who would be number 2 then?
A distant second would be Marcus Allen, just from the standpoint they're entirely different runners, right? Barry Sanders was just, you have to kind of guess and hope that he outjukes himself, and you fall your way into a tackle. But a guy like Marcus Allen, he was kind of slippery, right? You could never get just a clean hit on him. He was always kind of just slippery and falling off of your tackles. So, I've played against a lot of Hall of Fame running backs and great running backs, and there's a ton of them. But at this level, when a player makes it difficult to tackle him, that's a special characteristic, because everybody, hey, look, I don't even mind if a guy comes and tries to run over me. At least I'll grab something and get him down. It might look bad. It might make me look stupid, but I get the tackle, versus somebody that, it's just hard to hit them. And those are the ones that drive defenses mad.
All right, so on the flip side, since we got, QB here, Manuch, who is the easiest quarterback to tackle or not necessarily sack, but, get on the ground pretty easy? I mean, was there anybody out there like, oh, man, you're looking at film on it all week, you're like, oh, we got these guys on Sunday, and we're going to get to him.
And, Rob, no phantom sacks either now. That they fall when they see you coming.
I mean, the easy answer would be Dan Marino, because he couldn't walk from here to the side door. It would take him a half hour, but good luck even getting to him, because the ball's out of his hands in about a half a second. So that was the trade-off. But look, I look at Carson Beck in this draft class for the Cardinals, and he's not the most elusive guy. He can run if he needs to, but that's not really his game. He's more of the traditional pocket passer and play action pass, which I think, look, I obviously this is the kind of quarterback that Michael LaFleur wanted, and I think he fits that mold, a bigger, in the pocket, step up in the pocket, deliver the ball type quarterback.
And nowadays, Rob, these guys at 6'5", 230, 235, I mean, they're tough to bring down. And I agree with you. I think he will, if they will allow him to develop and put pieces around him, he's got all the tangibles and intangibles to be a good NFL quarterback if they are patient and they allow him to develop.
Yeah, I don't know how much patience they're going to have. I mean, this is just my opinion. I think they're going to play him early and often to make sure what they have in him before 2027 comes around. I don't know if you guys have a different opinion, but I do think he's going to see significant playing time this year.
Yeah, I do too.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I do too. Rob, have yourself a good weekend. Thanks for giving some time today.
All right, gentlemen, you have a great weekend as well, and look forward to our next visit.
You got it. That's Rob Fredrickson, of course, former Cardinal, radio analyst for the Cards, and Raider, first-round pick with the Raiders. So he is presented today by All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company. Whether you're stranded or need a professional transport, All City has the experience to get the job done right. 24/7, 365 days a year, and they are hiring drivers, dispatchers, all types of different positions. And if you want to know some of those positions, go to the website, allcitytowing.com. All right, Learning Row, one call, that's all, is coming up. Scott Spreitzer, our handicapper on the Kentucky Derby. You want to listen to this next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Wright Toyota.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com. When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat. right in the heart of Arizona Athletic Grounds, one of the largest youth sports complexes in North America. Bristol's is the ultimate hangout for families and sports fans in Mesa. Come experience amazing double-decker cheeseburgers, award-winning wings, smoked barbecue, and fresh, craveable salads. With seating for 500, a full bar, 20 beers on tap, and over 100 TVs, happy hour Thursdays, Friday and Sunday from 4 till 6, plus trivia night every Thursday night. Bristol's, where Mesa comes to eat, watch, and win.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes, so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get $1,000 in free survival gear for a limited time. You heard that right. Right now, when you order the powerful Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator from MyPatriotSupply.com, we'll send you over $1,000 in life-saving preparedness supplies, including a 4-week survival food kit, water filtration system, an off-grid cook stove, and much more, absolutely free. This offer won't last long, so get your generator and free survival gear now at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
I think by post-time, Commandment is going to take over as the favorite in this race. But as far as Renegade, it's so tough to win from the rail. Obviously, we just talked about that. You've got 18, 19 other horses that are going to be trying their best to get as close to the inside position as possible when this race gets underway. I love Todd Pletcher. Irad Ortiz is the best jockey in this field. So I think they've got a good shot to break this long, drought. The bottom line, Renegade is the horse with the late kick in this race, but I'm not sure he'll be where he likes to be since he needs a quick start. He's got to have a quick start, and he likes to be more of a horse that comes on at the end with that kick, but you cannot, I think, approach this race that way when you're on the rail. You got to come out fast. So it'll be interesting to see if Renegade's able to overcome his normal style and win this race.
That's Scott Spreitzer from DocSports.com was on in the 2 o'clock hour. It seems like that has been the consensus of the folks that are in this industry, that Commandment is one of the horses that should at least win, place, or show, or maybe win, and maybe the favorite tomorrow when the odds change, which they do quite a bit. The Puma was the other one. That's the trendy one that a lot of people are talking about as well. But Renegade, no horse has won post one on the rail since 1986. So it's been a long time.
Isn't that interesting? I'd love to. I'm going to look up to see what's the most consistent post that's won in the Kentucky Derby. Just pull that up and see, is it the 4-hole, the 5-hole? But yeah, they said that number one horse, they're talking about this last night, that they said they get boxed in. And if they don't get out quick, they get boxed in. But problem is, get out quick, they kind of lose their energy coming around. As you heard Scott Spreitzer say, Commandment, he's right there in the middle of the pack. He's got that late kick. Renegade be strong the entire time, get out of that number one hole and get out in front, so he doesn't have to try to challenge as everybody kind of boxes them in as they're going by here.
So D-backs played an early one today, 11:20 start, and they made it a game late. They were down 6-1, but the final ended up being 6-5 as Arizona was down 6-1 in the sixth, looked completely out of it. Perdomo hit a 3-run bomb, which made it a 1-run game, and then the Snakes had a chance. They couldn't get the tying run. 11 hits to 8. Arizona actually out-hit Chicago. Zach Gowan got blown up in the first and fourth. It was just too much to overcome. The bullpen was nasty. 4 1/3 scoreless innings. 3 hits, no walks. They spent the entire afternoon putting out fires. But Vargas extended his streak to 28. He was 4 for 5. And so that was the headline. But Gallen got rocked early, and that was unfortunate. But how about Perdomo hits a home run and has 3 RBI?
Yeah, Diamondbacks have now lost 7 of the last 10. 4 of their last 5 starters have been chased, and they've given up 82 runs in those 10 games. So they're on average, folks, with this pitching, giving up just over 8 runs per game. But the key is 4 of the last 5 starters have been chased. And to your point, Rock, those starters have given up a lot of runs early on in the first couple 2-3 innings. And that's something when you got a 2-game set going on 2 more games in Chicago before they come home and take on the Pirates, who are also playing very good baseball. Hopefully they get their pitching staff, or I should say their pitchers, turned around.
So 1 swing away from stealing this one. Cubs win their 7th in a row at home, but D-backs left the door open more than you'd expect for a 6-1 deficit. But give them credit; they'll be back at it tomorrow. The series will continue tomorrow at 11:20 on 98.7 FM tomorrow, as well as on Sunday, same time. Also, this weekend, the NBA playoffs will get underway at 4 o'clock. You got Detroit Magic. And then 4:30, it's Cavs, Raptors. And then later tonight, 6:30, it'll be Lakers and Rockets. You got some hockey going on. NFL playoffs, Game 6, Lightning and Canadians. Canadians 3-2 in this one. And then 4:30, Sabres and Bruins. And then formerly the Coyotes. How about they're the Mammoth of Utah. They're at Vegas, Game 6. They're behind in that one. So it's an elimination game for them they're down 3-2 in there. But Kentucky Derby, post time for the big race is at 3:57. Renegades still the favorite right now. And then a Game 7 NBA playoffs tomorrow, which will come on right after the Derby on NBC, and that'll be Sixers and Celtics.
Can the Magic pull it out? The 8th seed beating the number 1 seed. Lakers tonight as well. They'll also be in Houston without KD and without Reeves and Luka. Looks as though Reeves is going to be a game-time decision for the Lakers as well. So a lot of good hoops going on. And how about Minnesota taking care of business against Denver, the Nuggets? Denver faltering in this, and Ant-Man did not play. Looks like he's going to be out the rest of maybe the next round, if anything, with that bone contusion.
What's on Tap is sponsored by Bud Light. Bud Light, the official partner of Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B, and our Thursdays with Twin Peaks, as well as Michelob Ultra. So good stuff there. If you missed anything, we had Corey Russo on. He talked about the Derby. He's at Turf Paradise. We also had Scott Spreitzer from Doc Sports. Barry Bloom was on in the first hour. Good stuff there. And you just heard Rob Fredrickson. So if you missed anything, just download the Arizona Sports app or just go to rockandmanuch.com. We'll have the show posted up there as well. Monday, we'll be in studio.
They'll be right here,
right to go.
We'll be back here.
Oh, we're going to be here.
We'll be right to him on
Monday.
Absolutely.
So good stuff there. And then Tuesday, the taco spot in Tempe, as they're having a re-grand opening for Cinco de Mayo. So a lot going on. Everything will be up on our Twitter and Instagram pages, Facebook. Everything's there. So we know you have choices. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll do it again on Monday back here at Wright Toyota. For Laz, for Manuch, I'm Rock. Have a great weekend.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venencia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venencia's